old show. This is the big 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 old show. This
So here we are. I wanted to show you the backyard again because we had some trouble last time, but you know, cuttersedgepro.com does some amazing stuff, and they're the boys and the girl. They're having fun. There we go. Right, Maiden? Right, Bono? There we go. They're having fun. I'm having fun. Look at our Sylvester palm. It is beautiful. We got another one in the front yard like that. You can take your home and landscaping to the next level. And the artificial turf, look at that. Look at that. The two dinosaurs going at it, huh? Look at that. Gotta love the dinosaurs. Look at them. They like to bite each other's legs. That's what they do. They play with each other and then they bite each other and they piss each other off. It's fun. One is Bono, which is the one farther away from you, and Maiden. She's the girl right here. She's a badass. That's for sure. So anyway, see the flowers are coming out. Very nice. cuttersedgepro.com, folks. This big tree there will start budding that I'm showing you there soon. It'll have all kinds of flowers. I'll post another video and I'll show it to you. This is a backyard where everybody gets to hang out. Over there in the corner there, I put the barbecue and cook. So that way it's the farthest away from the house, you know. If I light myself on fire or somebody else, we're out in the corner away from everybody. There you go. So you can get some flowers coming out, which is a beautiful thing. And I swear by this artificial turf, it always looks phenomenal. I don't have to cut it. I don't have to water it. And so I'm saving a lot of money, hundreds and thousands in the long run, because I'm not watering or, of course, cutting the grass. And you know, here in South Florida, we cut the grass like every 10 to 14 days.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 16 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take up to $10,000 off a 2024 Acura during our 16th anniversary sale.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
There's a new sheriff in town at Toyota of Hollywood. Cash in your chips and get a great deal on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a Corolla, not 24,000, 17,975. Giddy up to the bank and get 2.99% financing on our most popular models. So mosey on down to our western town at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning. It is a Friday. We are headed into a beautiful weekend. Got a lot of things to talk about. People getting arrested. Maybe there's a holdout. Maybe there's something getting loose, too loose. We got playoffs. We got Panthers. We've got Inter. We've got funky stories. We've got funny stories. We've got stupid stories. We've got morons. I mean, I don't we've got something hopeful. We've got something bad. We've got something amazing. I mean, there's so much on the table today to talk about. I mean, really, dude, it's like, whoo, I got a lot of stuff here, man. You know, you get up early in the morning and you start to gather everything. You collect stuff from yesterday, and before you know it, you got you're overflowing with material here. Plus, Bitcoin holding strong at 66,000. So it's good shit. Let's see if we're ready to pop. Love it. I saw big news with Chainlink yesterday. That is amazing. We've told you about Chainlink here for a while. Chainlink's at, I don't know, it went down to 12 or 13 or something. I got my averages down at $5-6 because I got it at the real low, the real low, because we've been talking about Chainlink for a while. But it did dip because it was up at around 20 something and it dipped down to $13 or $12 or something. I think it's at 15 right now because it went up some. Chainlink will be over $100 guaranteed. I'm not a financial advisor, but that is one of my predictions that Chainlink will go over $100. Okay. I know we have the Sportstradamus. I think we've got to come up with a Cryptodamus, because there's a lot of stuff on crypto that I've nailed. So I've got to, I think we're going to have to come up with a Cryptodamus. So, Sean, you and Scotty work on the Cryptodamus has spoken, because we're going to have to, we're going to have to do that. I mean, how many times are we going to be right on, like if you would have listened to me on Chainlink when it got down to $5, $6, and it's been effing around right now around $14, $15, you're sitting there going, yeah, I'm good, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm tripling my money right now. I'm sitting here, and it's going to go up. It's going to go up to 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 and maybe even $100. I personally think in the next couple of years, Chainlink will be worth several $100s, but that's just me. But I'm saying for now, expect $100 in 2025. By now till 2025, it will climb to $100. I guarantee you that. I am so bullish on Chainlink. It's not even funny. Have been bullish on Chainlink. Been telling you about it for a while. So there you go. On the crypto side, we'll keep you updated. How is the market opened right now? Just to kind of keep you guys informed on that. The market has opened in the green. It's up 60 points. The Dow Jones. S&P is just under 2 points. The NASDAQ is barely under four thousandths of a point. So it's not really a big deal there. Remember, of course, you can support the show many ways. You can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show, and you can make a Bitcoin donation. Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can also make a super chat donation there on the chat board. And our merch shop is open. You ask and we deliver. All shirts now come in 10 different colors. Somebody was asking me yesterday, hey, are you going to have the shirts in different colors? Because they were right. They were all listed in white. Well, now you can get it in white, black, gray, red, blue, yellow, orange, pink, aqua, and purple. I remembered all of them because I'm the one that had to input all that shit. You know what I mean? I had to first clear it with, of course, I had to call Alan Blanco at 3 Graphics and say, hey, man, can you do this for me? They're asking multiple colors. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do multiple colors. So there you go. And we've got a couple of other, the ideas you guys gave us. By the way, all Big O Show hats, not the Bitcoin one, but the one with the Big O Show logo, okay, on the back of it, on the half moon where you adjust the size on the half moon, it'll say BP4E. And it'll be Bill Preston forever. Okay, so if you go on our page, I don't know if you can put up the link there for them for our merch, and you check out our Big O Show hats, white or black. Okay, it'll have the Big O Show logo. It'll say daily on YouTube right here, and on the back, on the half moon, it'll right. Right there on the half moon right there, it'll say BP4E for Bill Preston, my best friend. Always will be my best friend. So we'll have that there. I talked to Alan, and we're going to be able to do that also. The black and the white hats, the regular Big O Show hats, okay, not the Bitcoin ones. So, because there's 2 different hats, and some people are buying the Bitcoin hats because it's the Big O Show stuff, but with the B for the Bitcoin and all that. Since we are, Bitcoin maxis here on this show, and we have a Bitcoin shirt too. Also, there's the QR code, and the address is bigoradioshow.myshopify.com. It's another way that you can support the show. You guys asked for multiple colors. We gave you 10. It's pretty cool. So now you can go back if you didn't want to buy a white shirt, but you want a black shirt or a yellow shirt, or if you think it'll look good in pink or whatever, that kind of stuff. Because the 305 shirts that we have, you could get the Dolphin one, and now instead of white, you can get it in orange or aqua if you want, or black. You know what I mean? Or 305 for FIU or or whatever, because we have the 305 for the different teams. So it's up to you. So check it out. And a great way to sponsor and support our show is and we're going to continue to add, okay? Because we've got Ragin coming up with all kinds of ideas. He's a maniac. That's why he is the Ragin Maniac. And of course, the people at 3A Graphics, so Alan Blanco. And by the way, if you have a business and you need some kind of, stuff for your business, whether it's uniforms or hats or shirts or whatever it is, tote bags, whatever, reach out to our people at 3A Graphics, 786-618-1443 for custom printing and embroidery. Man, he showed me the embroidery for the hats, and it looks badass. The other thing that we got to come up with is a dry fit polo with the Big O Show logo. I forgot about that one. That one we have to design with an embroidered Big O Show logo. That'll be pretty cool. We got to do that. That's the other thing that we'll do. So there you go. A couple things that you guys suggested, asked for. They have been delivered, and we are working on a multicolored Dolphin shirt. We're working on the low-hanging fruit stuff. So we're working on different ideas there for that. So to kind of expand and try to accommodate, and hopefully great way to, keep Sean and myself alive here by supporting us here on the show. And, by supporting our colors, people can find out about us, So there you go. They could get the best Dolphin information on the planet. You know what I'm saying? And we have to talk about that because, there's some news from CBS about Tua and possible holdout and that kind of stuff. Is it a holdout? Yeah, we'll discuss. We'll discuss. We got a lot of things to discuss here on this show. You know what I mean? Let's see what we got here on a little roll call on a Friday. Jamie Zorrilla out is number 1 there, San Jose. And he reminds everybody to smash that like button. 26 smashes right now, and there's 97 watching. 4-1. That means right now, do you know, I can bet this. If every one of you that has not smashed the like button hits it, we would have 100 likes over the 98 watching. I bet you. You know why? Some people probably already left. They kind of came in, hit the like button, and left. And if there's 98 watching, I guarantee you there's more than 74 that did not hit that like button. So 74 of you hit that like button right now. And let's see that 26 go to 3 digits like this. Go to 100. Can we do that for once? 39? Come on. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Do it for me. Come on. Push it. Come on, 39. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Get that likes going. Get the likes going. Jamie Zorrilla is checking in from San freaking Jose. 3 hours earlier than us. That's dedication every single day. Smash that like 39. 51. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Pick it up. There's 101 watching. I know you guys could easily get it over 100 like this. Just reach over and go back on the like button. That's it. That's all you got to do. Or hit 100 dislikes. Let's see. Steve Chapman is in. Wouldn't it be something if the Bruins return the favor from last year and come back from 3-1? Yeah, but it's not going to happen. It'll be closed out tonight. Cosa Nostra is in. Steven Gonzalez, Ray Sosa, Jay Gelfin, Manolo Rivera, Gus 1388, Alexis Palenzuela, Evan Yermitsky, One-Eyed Jack. We might be at the start. I think we are now. I know we've been fooled a couple times with fake pumps. I don't think this is the fake pump. The M2 money supply is going up. What's it called? Tether is printing a whole bunch of money because people are getting ready to buy. What was it yesterday? This is just stupid that these people had to obviously, they had to declare 937 financial institutions bought Bitcoin through their ETFs. And now we have, what's it called? And now we have CME, who wants to launch a trading spot Bitcoin. And this is for the hedge funds. The difference between the ETF and the spot Bitcoin is they literally, on the spot Bitcoin, these are the smart people. They want to own the Bitcoin. In the ETF, you don't own the Bitcoin. They buy it for you and hold it for you. But when you want to sell, they sell the Bitcoin and then cash you out and then get their cut. And they get their cut every time. That's how they make their money. They make their money on the cut that you buy or sell, but they're making it. And they're going to make their cut. And so in that process, but this is a spot Bitcoin. So when CME is, the largest hedge fund for futures exchange, they're the largest future exchange for hedge funds. So how much do you think these hedge funds are going to buy? Yes, we are. It's only a matter of time. It's just one of those things. I told you guys this during this dip. Take advantage, buy as much as you can, because when it takes off, you're going to regret it that you didn't take advantage of it. And quite frankly, people have said you may never see 30s and 40s again. I guarantee you won't see 30s and 40s again. I don't know if you'll ever see 60s again. I'm just saying, when these rich people get a hold of it, they pass it on to generations. They don't let go. That's what they do with their gold. That's what they do with their silver. That's what they do with their Microsoft and their Amazon and their Netflix and their, well, not Netflix. What's it called? Tesla or Amazon stocks or any of that. They just pass it on. So I completely agree that I think this is the bounce that we've been waiting for. And it's going to be nasty. It's going to go. Well, I just told a friend of mine, I think it was yesterday, I would not be surprised in the next, 9 months to a year, we see at least 2 mega candles where Bitcoin moved up $10,000 in a day. At least 2 of those. They're coming, man. And that's when, then the FOMO starts, One-Eyed Jack. Then the average person starts getting in because now, see, as I've explained before, we're at 66. People aren't impressed with that because it was already at 67. And it went up to 73.6. That's the high. Now it's at 66. So people aren't that impressed. They're going to need like 80 and 90 and 100. And then that's when the people that got excited between the 50s and the 60s, we had a couple of those people here when they bought in the 65, 68, 70, 72 range, and then it dipped and they panicked and sold. Because the most people that sold, see, the beauty of the blockchain that people don't understand is everything's public. You can see it all. And like 95% of the people that sold Bitcoin in the last couple of months here during this dip, do you know who they were? The people that have held Bitcoin less than 155 days. Newbies that don't know anything, that just bought it because of somebody else or whatever, and then since they don't know anything and they don't know what they're doing, they see a little bit of a dip, they panic and they sell because they don't know anything. Meanwhile, do you know who's the one buying the most? The whales that own 100 to over 1,000 Bitcoins. Those are the ones that are buying the most. Well, why do you think they're buying the most? I mean, it's just we have a weird thing about us that because of the way we buy high, right? No, we buy high, right? And then we sell low. And it's the weirdest thing when it's the other way around. When things are its worst and it's low on the ground, i.e. Chainlink. Did I not tell you? Like Chainlink had a dip here for $13-14 and it's at 15 now. And I'm telling you, that wasn't a dip for me because I bought it at $5 to $6. So my range is somewhere in the 550, 570, 580 range. I haven't figured it out, but it's somewhere there. Like, what do I care? That dip for me doesn't mean shit. It means for some people, newbies, you know what I mean? But doesn't mean anything for me. And that's why I tell you, you got to take advantage of this kind of stuff. And with Bitcoin, unlike altcoins, they're going to have a peak and then they're going to have a valley that is just going to be, hard. Bitcoin will go up perpetually for years and years and years to come. And why? Because like I told you, I think yesterday, the day before, there's only 21 million. And about 2 or 3 million are already lost. So it's really about 18 million. And once they're done mining the 21 million, there's no more. It's over. Gold, the supply of gold increases 2 to 3% every year. They find more gold. It's not as precious and it's not as rare as Bitcoin. And that's what people are understanding. And it's hard to get a grasp of that, to understand it. And that's really the hardest part. Anyway, let's get to sports. Oscar Rojas is in, reminding everybody to hit that like button. Got 124 watching, 77 likes. Much better. Much better. But that means there's 50 people easily watching that have not hit the like button can get us over 100 already. At least 50 people. So all you got to reach over is hit it. Hit it, por favor. Chad is in the house. Cap for life. Captain Saki. He's in Boca Grande is the house. Frankie Fresco. Easy macro. Let the spot thrower go and tank for Manning. LOL. Ray Grullon. Howdy-o. Everyone is called clickbait. The beat writers need the clicks. Yep. Good morning from Lenny Peña. Easy macro says the prime time one said must be the money. Could be. Let's see. Heyo, it's impossible to predict, but what do you think Bitcoin would be at by 2030? Easily over 1 million. Easily over 1 million. Cake. Guaranteed. Okay? Guaranteed. There's a reason why the smartest, richest, and most powerful people in the world are the ones gobbling this shit up. Because they gobble everything else up. Okay? It's just hard for people to grasp that computing is value. You know what I mean? Like, people say, well, it has no value. Dude, it takes $50,000 to mine an entire Bitcoin. To mine it. The power, the energy, everything that you use, the equipment, by the time you've mined an entire Bitcoin, it's $50,000. Now, in El Salvador, they're using the thermal energy from the volcanoes, and they're converting that into Bitcoin energy. And there are people that are using Bitcoin mining rigs to heat up their pools, to heat up their homes, to heat up their buildings. They're using Bitcoin in a way that it's a dual form So people don't understand. There's a lot of things that, like, they talk about, oh, the energy use, this and that. Well, dude, you use way more energy to mine gold than you do Bitcoin. You use way more energy to run your refrigerator than you do Bitcoin. But again, there's a lot of ignorance out there. And then you got the people talking about, oh, it's so bad for the environment. No, it's not actually. And now they're up to 55% of Bitcoin being mined all by natural energies, whether it's volcanic, whether it's wind, whether it's air, water, solar. There's all kinds of ways that they're mining Bitcoin now. So they're doing it in a cleaner way, because obviously it wasn't as clean before. There's just a lot of ignorance and a lack of education. And that's the real problem with all of this. And then it misinforms so many of you, and then you all fall behind. You know, a lot of you that at least the good thing I feel about our show is we've given you the insight. And it's up to you to do whatever the hell you want, do your own homework and figure it out. But, you know, when in 2030, when it is $1 million or 2 million or 3 million, you're going to say, that son of a bitch that wore that stupid Bitcoin hat every day told me all the time what was going on with our money, what was going on with our economy. Didn't matter if it's an elephant or a mule. He explained it every time, whether it's red or blue, it doesn't really matter, but we're the ones losing, and that Bitcoin's going in one direction and our money's going in the other. And holy shit, it's 2030 and our money has completely declined to nothing, and Bitcoin is up in 7 digits, 9 digits, 10 digits, 12 digits, whatever. You know, at least I'm going to feel good that I didn't bullshit you guys like I don't bullshit you about anything else. Just like I put out yesterday to Heat fans with all that fucking Donovan Mitchell stuff. Stop it already, dude. You have no capital to trade for Donovan Mitchell. None. You're not going to win the capital battle anyways. Okay? Jimmy can't recruit anybody. And no stars coming here to carry Jimmy's lazy ass. And unfortunately, his broken down ass, because clearly he cannot play hard. He's done it for 2 straight regular seasons. He's going to get older next year. What do you think? He's all of a sudden going to start changing how to play? No, he knows his body can't hold up, so he can't play hard. So you think a star is going to come here? I don't sit here and bullshit you guys just so I can extend it. I'm not doing that. And I'm not going to lie to you about what's going on in our country, red or blue. So doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to tell you the way it is. It's up to you guys. Just watch. Everything I tell you pretty much has happened. Everything I'm telling you pretty much happens. So, you know, on the money side, on the Bitcoin side, on the Dolphin, on the Heat, on the Panthers, Inter Miami, pretty much the stuff that I kind of look into and study and whatever watch, we're pretty much on target. So the track record's there, man. You know, I appreciate all. Man, you guys kicking ass. 93, and you're up to 136. So we only need 7 more to get to triple digits now. 7 people that haven't hit need to hit and get us in. 6 now. We're at 94. Come on. Triple digits. Want to get to at least 100 right at this moment. We'd like to get a lot higher, obviously. We'd like to get hundreds every show. That would be nice, but that'll get it out there, and we appreciate it. What else do we have? Coach AJ in. Nizzle is in the house. Lisa Rose, Terry, Big O, you and Bill did a great job during the pandemic because there was nothing going on and still did a great show every day. RIP to Bill. Yes, RIP to Bill. We did 3-4 hours of daily sports talk. And, you know, we'd mess around too, but we did a lot of sports talk when there were no sports. See, that's when you had to kind of really, you know, ad lib and come up with stuff. And we did it. And we were very proud of that during the pandemic, man. helped a lot of people that were stuck in their homes. So it was a beautiful thing. And you know what? It was a beautiful way of all of us starting this thing off, and a foundation where there's a lot of the names that were there at the beginning, they're still here, which is pretty cool. John Padilla is in the house. Weapon X United. Talk about a name that's been around for a while here. Drago says, now I'm wondering if they know how to hit the likes. Well, they got us to 103. Thank you. Thank you. Say less, Big O. We're on it. There we go. A-Rod is in. Axel is in. Tua will get his bag. I will discuss a couple of things. Don't worry. Dawson is in. Tua said it as luau a month ago that he would be at OTAs. I would say this is nothing ATM. I would tell you, let me finish here. Fernando Perez, how difficult is it to hit the like button? First thing I do when I tune in. Thank you, Fernando. I appreciate that, man. Very nice of you. Sean and I appreciate it immensely. Jules says, I like the Big O show. Can't wait for the Big O tour bus. Damn. We're going to need a lot of donations from you guys to get a tour bus. The Tesla Cybertruck is garbage, Big O. Well, listen, I don't have that kind of money, so I would never be able to find out. But I'll take your word for it if you have one or experienced it. Miles Deep is in the house. James Vivinetti is in the house. JG Long. Talk about JG Long has been following this show for years and years and years, dude. QAM, probably 640. Everything, bro. He has followed everything. He has been loyal through, I'm sure, the onside and everything, and 1210 and now the podcast. He has been loyal because he and I have been going back and forth. One day I'm going to visit you because it is a must place to visit you. Malaysia, right? I think if I'm correct, right? I will visit you one day, bro, because I always see all your stuff on Instagram, and it's a great place to visit. I've always heard good stuff about it. Let's see, what else do we have? Jimmy's attitude is abrasive to other players. Notice how many teams he's changed, and nobody said, I'll come play with him. Well, I said that at the beginning, and people told me, no, he'll be able to recruit somebody, and he couldn't recruit shit except freaking Kyle Lowry. So, Relentless in Joseph. He says, JG Long says, Big O, come to Malaysia. Yes, I will. It's on my bucket list. Malaysia is one of the places I definitely will go to in the next year or two. In 25 or 26, I will visit you. I promise you that. Horn Dog is in. Who are you going to replace? Yeah, that don't worry about that. That stuff will be solved. All right. He's ready to go. Let's talk a little Dolphins, a little Tua. All in the family. There's a lot of things to talk about with David Furones and our Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins. Oh, by the way, Welt and Rheaume doesn't handle divorces, Tyreek. Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rheaume Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rheaume has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
I love it. By the way, Yuri Cristofanti said, I had to park the car just to hit the like button for the Big O. Yuri, we love you, bro. You liked us. We love you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Speaking of love, we have love for David Furones. Good morning, sir. How are you doing? Do you have 10, 11, or 12 kids?
Zero. So a good morning for me for sure, as I have 0 kids to take care of.
That man has a starting 11 now. Was that the goal? Is that what he was trying to get to or something? Is that the deal?
every single time another one would pop up, someone would always joke, all right, we're getting closer to having a whole starting offense. So
he got it.
Maybe so.
He got it done. He got it done. Damn, dude. Oh, that's a hell of an offseason right there. We're going to get a divorce? No, we're going to have our 11th kid. Let's go.
The man is productive on the field and off the field.
Yep. No, definitely. He definitely can't keep his pecker control. That's for sure. I mean, 5 different women, 11 kids. That's he knows how to score.
Every pun that we can think of.
He can get it across the finish line. That's for sure. Oh, yeah. No doubt about that. Yeah, he's going to be so broke. It's not even funny how broke Tyreek Hill will be in a few years. Let's just call it like it is. That's a lot of baby mamas. That's a lot of money, and you won't be making that kind of money for the rest of your life. So
how does that work with child support once you have that many
18
children?
years.
Right, 18 years on each one, but what like percentages on each that out of your salary? How does that work?
Dude,
I know.
I've got one wife, one child, one marriage, and I'm 30 years strong. Okay, I've been with her 36 and a half years. All right. I don't comprehend with any of that stuff. I don't want to comprehend with any of that stuff. In fact, my child is already grown, graduated, teaching. Okay. So we've done our job as parents. I don't know. I don't know that life, bro. I don't want to have a second wife or a third wife. I don't want to have a second child. We planned on not having a second child. Okay. Dude, we waited 6.5 years to get married. Then we waited another 6 years to have a child. Wow. Just because we wanted to wait till we were making money and we were comfortable, not rich, but we were making money that we could pay our bills. And we said, okay, we can handle a child. And then we said, should we get a second one? We said, nah, because that's double. No, let's do this. Let's provide this one everything she could possibly need or have. Boom. We did that. We were successful. I'm done, bro. I can't comprehend with that kind of stuff. And these women typically want, dude, 10, 12, 30, 25,000 a month for each child because they have to live a certain lifestyle.
That's what really gets me. I mean, how does just having to support a child mean you need that much money? There's so many people making ends meet with so much less.
But they grew into a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
Into a rich lifestyle. So you must maintain your lifestyle is their lifestyle. You can't be living in a mansion and then the kid is living in a shack somewhere in some, crap part of town or something. That the judge will not allow something like that because you brought the child into the world and they're not going to be provided the same thing you provide yourself. That's the way they look at it. So you're, by the way, I have no problem with that, brother.
That part of it makes sense. Yeah.
You decided to stick your in there without protection and you decided to do all of this and now you're going to have the child. Well, I'm big on responsibility, my brother. That's your responsibility. Te jodes. Sorry, I have zero sympathy for that. That's our problem in this world. We have too many kids that are out there and they have no mother, no father. And a lot of them, like me, I grew up with just my mom around. And my parents got divorced when I was like 7, dude. And they went through this wicked, ugly, drop down, drag out divorce that had restraining orders and all. I mean, bro, they put me in the middle of all that shit. And, it's just like, yeah, I think that's why I am who I am now, because I went through all that hell. And I said, there's no fucking way I'm putting my daughter through that hell. No way. Not doing that. I'm getting married. I'm going to have a house. She's going to go to the same school, same district the entire time. She's going to have a mother and a father when she gets home. She'll have her support. She'll have money. She'll have food. She'll have a roof. That's your responsibility, dude. You have a kid. That's you decided to have a child or 2 or 10. Jódete, brother. Trabaja. Too bad.
Yeah.
By the way, for those of you that don't understand, I said, screw you. Get to bastard. That's basically what I'm saying in Spanish.
Yeah. That's why I'm like you. I see it the same way you did. That's kind of the plan I would want is have my wife in place first, and then down the road, like make sure both of us were all set financially wise, everything, and then go into that. I mean, I'm horrified of having to take care of a kid on. I mean,
that's everybody, dog.
What I make now is better than what I made when I was starting off as a high school sports reporter. I was horrified then of it, of course. I mean, but even now, still. So I see it the same way you do. And let's also say this upcoming baby for Tyreek Hill is with his wife, Keita Vaccaro Hill. So what's done in the past is done. This one is with his wife. So at least congratulations to them as a couple too.
Yeah, no, congratulations. I just hope he lives up to his responsibilities as a father. You know what I'm saying?
Part of the story to tell.
Yeah, because
everything that has happened to this point.
And in a way, really, you know, I don't think when you have 11 kids with 5 different women, you'll never be able to be the father that you can't. It's because you can't be in 5 places.
Spreading yourself out too thin. Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the children are not coming home to a father. Sorry, only a couple are coming home. The other 4 homes, there'll be no father. Yeah. So that
they're coming home to the father's paycheck.
Yeah, but I mean that really.
It's different. It's very different.
Yeah, that doesn't carry very far, man. Unfortunately,
there's no price you could put on having both parents present.
All right, so Jonathan Jones came out with a report that Tua has skipped the majority of the voluntary offseason work as a long-term extension with Miami has yet to materialize. What do you know about that?
Well, this is the first time we have these contract talks sort of get into maybe a potentially contentious situation. We've said it on this program. We believe Tua will always have shown. We have always believed that he'll show up to these offseason workouts. He did. He showed up to the beginning, and then we've seen him a little bit throughout. But now Jonathan Jones, CBS Sports, reports that that's not the full picture. He has been absent from a lot of these. Obviously, these are very closed off from media and viewers. And OTA start this week. The first one is on Monday. First one with media access is on Tuesday. So now that becomes a huge storyline going into the start of OTAs. For those that don't know, offseason workouts are broken up into first the different phases that they go through, just getting acclimated, and then eventually you get into the OTA session, which organized team activities that starts this upcoming week. It'll go for 2 weeks. Then there's mandatory minicamp. Everything is voluntary up until that mandatory minicamp. So a lot of people who are going through contract negotiations, that's where they end up maybe taking some days off. But so we're seeing it with Tua Tagovailoa right now. And we always felt, okay, these contract negotiations will go amicably, and the two sides want to get it done. I think they still do, but I think Tua may be playing a little bit of hardball here, and it'll be a storyline now going into OTAs, how much he misses these voluntary sessions, and if this carries forward.
All right, the thing that I'm trying to find out is this may not be a holdout at all.
Sure.
These are voluntary, and he is working with a QB coach.
Yes.
And he's also working on body slimming and strengthening his body. And so he could be opting not to go to these voluntary workouts, and they know it. And he's working on with the QB coach and working with the trainer and those kind of things away from it. So it may not be something that he needs, one, because he's been through all these things anyway. And at this point in the season, it's mostly condition. You're not really running 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s on these things. You know that, right? That's not really what they're doing.
The workouts preceding OTA. Yeah. Once you get to OTAs, you'll do that stuff. But
yeah, but right now it's kind of conditioning any kind of therapy that you might need that might be dragged on from the off season or what's it called? Classroom stuff and things like that.
And very limited field work. They'll go out onto the field, but
it's like a type
routes
of
on air type of stuff. Yeah.
Right. It's a walkthrough type of thing. So again, these aren't really things that he necessarily needs. So before I overreact or you overreact or fans overreact, and I try to keep everybody kind of like with the information out there here and not try to play the sensationalistic shit out there. Oh, he's holding out, and not throw out there that, hey, this could be that he has some stuff set up already that they know about during this time, because this is the time to work with your QB coach. This is the time to have to get some other stuff going. So that could be the reason. And then here's the other one that I was thinking of. It might not be a holdout. It might be more of an understanding of, hey, you haven't come to a contract yet for insurance purposes. Let's kind of slow walk this thing and not expose them to too much. Again, you don't really do a lot of workouts. So it's really more about maybe in conditioning or stuff like that, which he doesn't need to do that there. He's going to be doing it somewhere else. So there could be some other things involved in all of this, why he's also missing. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not concerned for Tua as an individual as far as his training and attending these, because we know he's been working with Perform, Nick Hicks, and he's working on slimming down. Last time we saw him, he had lost some weight. So I think it's because he's working on agility and being able to extend plays and being able to be a little more mobile. So I know he's been working on that as far as he himself getting his offseason work that he needs. He definitely has been on top of that. And we know he's been working with John Beck, and we know locally too, he's been working with Goldfeet, which Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle have been at those sessions locally. So we've seen social media video from Tevin Allen does a great job with a lot of local high school kids, a lot of college kids, and then even pros down here in Broward County. So we've seen him out there too. So he's getting reps with Tyreek Hill, with Jalen Waddle. And we've even heard from Washington brothers getting the chance to work with him as they, not actual brothers, but the draft picks. So all that stuff is going on. So I'm not necessarily too concerned about his off-season work if he's not attending. But it's just a matter of, okay, now it brings up the question, because we thought it was all going to go smooth, and now we do see Jared Goff. He got his contract extension. Meanwhile, where do the Dolphins stand with Tua? Well, now we just found out. These voluntary offseason workouts that we assumed, we all thought, okay, all this would run smoothly. He'd be attending them, and because he's that guy. And Mike McDaniel said he expects him. Now he did answer for OTAs, not necessarily start of offseason workouts. We have to make that distinction. So OTAs, that starts next week. When Mike McDaniel did say he expects Tua, so that part of it could still be very much true, assuming everything goes down as we expect it to, that he shows up start of next week for those organized team activities.
Yeah. To me, I don't think when it's organized, I think he'll be there. And so the problem is with all of this is that if you don't have all the information, it's hard to really assume what's really going on, because this is a part of the season that is very gray. And players have personal issues. Sometimes they have professional commitments that they're already, and they're or personal things. They might be getting married or something. They might be on a honeymoon or whatever. There are different reasons, and there are reasons why sometimes you miss these kind of things. Once it gets to mandatory, then it becomes a little bit more of a clear picture of where it's at. And that's where, I still think he'll be there for the mandatory ones.
Oh, yes.
And that's why I kind of think there's more to this than just, oh, no, this is contract, because Greer even told you guys in one of the press conferences that we took a break from the contract negotiations because they understood, hey, it's draft time. We got to focus here. Remember when he said that?
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, that part of the offseason, you're focusing on the draft. Yeah.
Right, but he also said like they understood we had to put a pause on it. Remember when he said that?
Sure.
Okay, so the same guy reported from CBS that now after the draft they resumed they started contract talks, and I'm like, no, they did not start. They might resume them.
Right, resume would be the right wording.
That's why he had the wrong wording the last time he said this about this, because clearly Greer told us that there were negotiations already going on, and that they knew and understood our position. Hey, we're in the draft. We got to take a pause. Yeah, no problem. We have no problem with that. Boom. So that he already had kind of wrong. I'm wondering here in the same situation, does Jonathan Jones also kind of have that part of, he's not there, but is it a holdout? Does it really have anything to do with the contract, or is it more about him working on himself in the offseason with some new people?
Yeah. Well, I think what's still significant is that this is less than what he's attended in the past. So at least comparatively, you still have that difference to point out. Like he has worked on himself in the past off seasons, whether it's bulking up last off season, whether it was working on gaining that lower body strength for more arm throwing power the 2 off seasons ago, which was a big focus with Nick Hicks, his trainer. So, at least comparatively, there is still that aspect to it. But as far as whether there's more to it, then that's something, assuming Tua is there, maybe he ends up speaking on Tuesday when we have that first open one to the media and we get all this squared away. And it would be a question to ask him is how much was this sort of planned, or and how much is this because you're already getting the stuff that you need and that you're prioritizing this offseason away from Dolphins facilities, and then now coming back, although and I mean he's been there, it's not like he's been completely absent, he has been there, it's just a matter of how much. So
that's why this is kind of, he's been there, and then all of a sudden this I that as the late great Mad Dog would say, I put it to my nosy and it don't smell so rosy. It just doesn't. That's why I brought up the other scenarios, and I want people to know, because it's super easy to lean to the sensationalistic stuff and say, "Oh, it must be his contract and he's holding out." And okay, that'll get you clicks, but it might not be that actually, and that's not really his style. So
it's not his style.
Yeah, and plus what Greer said, if they had an understanding of a pause during the negotiations, then that tells me things were all right. They were moving at least, and there's amicable, the sides are amicable at this point, and everything's well. And then all of a sudden I have a problem with that one,
I just feel there's probably just still a little something there, because you do compare it to Jared Goff got his done. We've been talking about the timeline, and we know, like, we look at last offseason when Lamar's finally got taken care of, when Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, it was the night of the opening game, and then the Bengals were like stealing headlines like right before kickoff by getting the Joe Burrow contract done. So I mean, it could happen. There's such a wide range of when it could happen, but then now maybe there's the added thing. Okay, Jared Goff already got his done, and then now Dolphins and Tua still working through theirs, even though there's still plenty of time, and I'm sure it'll get taken care of. Both sides, I feel, strongly do want to get this done. Now it's just a matter of, okay, now you also have, hey, Jared Goff is worth this $53 million average annual value, and now maybe whatever the Dolphins were, and this is a big maybe, these negotiations are kept tight to the vest. I don't know if that's what Dolphins came up to the negotiating table with, but if their initial offer was less than that, now maybe Tua's feeling insulted. Okay, wait, well, Jared Goff got $53 million, and then you view me as this number. But so now at least we have that. There is that context with another deal getting done this offseason with a quarterback, and just what the real price of doing business with a quarterback is, which, by the way, Jared Goff, his contract compared to what the salary cap is now, that would only rank number 10 as far as the percentage of salary cap consumed by the per year salary to the quarterback. So that's just, it's going to be going up. And those are just the more realistic numbers based on the salary cap continuing to rise. So everyone who wants to see something under $50 million, it's a new day. That part of it is not happening anymore.
Right, exactly. No, I'm with you. And listen, I think he's going to get 55 plus, actually, when it's all said and done. And then his contract in a couple of years will be a joke because there'll be guys making 65 and 70. Yeah. It's just, whatever, bro. This is too much craziness. People are freaking out about a couple million here or there. Meanwhile, the cap is going to go up 10, 12, 15 million every year. So whatever, bro. Go ahead and lose sleep if you want. The bottom line is the kid's got to ball out. And I think eventually that's really what you want from him. You won't worry so much about what he's getting paid if he goes out there and plays. Let's talk a little OBJ. You what was the press conference was on Wednesday, right?
Yes, Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so it was day after we talked. And as a guy that is, I've never been an OBJ fan. Respected his talent, but I did not like the way he carried himself. But I will admit, the last couple of years he's been impeccable. He's been a terrific teammate. He hasn't done any of the crap that he did with the Giants and all that kind of stuff. He didn't act like that with the Rams, the Browns, or the Ravens last year. But he's acted like a professional. And I will give you this also, and why I even like this move even more. He has the right attitude. He's not coming in trying to prove that he's still a number one. He knows he's not a number one. He knows he's there to complement the top two guys. He wants to be here too. He likes McDaniel. So I just got like a complete mature vibe and an understanding of what he's stepping into. And to me, that's half the battle. Because if he comes in with the wrong attitude or the wrong expectations for himself or whatever, that can ruin everything. I thought he had the perfect freaking attitude, and it's really a great foundation to succeed here.
Yeah, Big O, you nailed it. That was my takeaway from it is he understands where he stands in this offense. Obviously, you have to when Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are the 1 and 2, and you're going into a situation to be the number 3, but it's good to just hear it from him that, he knows that at this point in his career, hasn't been a Pro Bowler since 2016, last 1,000-yard season 2019, has had these injuries. He's come back from that. And he even started talking about, if this season is my last and this and that. So he knows where he stands in his career and that he feels this situation is just tremendous for him to be a number 3. He was talking about that Mike McDaniel laid out how some third down situations, opponents decided that they would double both Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And we know those guys are getting 50% of targets for the Dolphins. So they need that third option, whether we know Jonnu Smith might be it sometimes in the red zone and throughout the field also, but then Odell Beckham Jr. on those third downs. It'll open up a lot of opportunities for him. And he laid out the film session that he had on a visit with the Dolphins with Mike McDaniel that really opened his eyes. I feel like McDaniel, he looks at players throughout the league and he studies everything just all over the NFL, and that he really just has ideas on how he can improve other players on other teams based on what he sees. And he says, if I had him, I would nail down this teaching point because I feel like he could take us the game to the next level if he did X, Y, and Z. And I just envision in that meeting that he probably laid out some things that opened Odell Beckham Jr.'s eyes, even at this stage in his career. And you could tell it came through by the way he was talking about Mike McDaniel. And he mentioned Tua, that at first he was a little hesitant about a left-handed throwing quarterback. He didn't know about that, but then he started thinking, hey,
but then he does the Odell goofball shit. Oh, wait. Jarvis has been throwing to me since I was in high school, and he's left-handed. And
his trainer, yeah.
And somebody else is left-handed.
So the trainer he works with.
Bro, what's wrong with you? The earth is flat again? These are the moments with Odell.
Yeah, right. Where maybe you felt the perfect answer would have been that he was all in 100%, but then he admitted that he had to get over the left-handed thing. But hey, at least he did. At least he did get over that mental block, whatever it might have been. So,
mental block. It was his own mental block because captain from a lefties for years now. So what are you talking about, dude? Like, the hell are you talking about? Just like, by the way, great question. I had no idea by you because I know it was your voice on the UM recruiting thing. I had no, and once again, he listened to stinking Jarvis Landry. Jesus.
Yeah. I went back into the memory bank for that one because when I was in college, during his recruitment, and sort of like middle of college is when I really started to focus on recruiting, and I really started getting into it. And I remember him being one of the top recruits. And, reading up on his quotes on, whenever a recruiting site would get an interview with him. And it was canesport.com, my buddies over there, Gary Furman, Matt Chodell. And then just like seeing, okay, he's 50-50, whether LSU or Miami, whatever he was saying back then. And then, ultimately, of course, goes to LSU. But that was the first time I was seeing his name was on the recruiting sites when he was maybe going to the Canes. And then that's the last time you heard of that connection, obviously, because then he goes to LSU and then he goes on to his NFL career. So sort of him coming back to Miami jogged that in my memory. Like, man, wait, wasn't he close to going to UM? So,
yeah. And by the way, Jarvis not getting invited back by the Jags. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that?
Yeah. I figured as much.
Because our birthday boy from yesterday, Omar, wanted Jarvis over here. Did you know Jarvis was quoted there in Jacksonville when he was there that he was also there to find out if he still wanted to do it himself?
Yeah.
Like, that's not the kind of player I want to give a chance to. If I'm a team trying to win like the Dolphins right now, I don't need a guy that's in the middle of trying to figure out whether he wants to do this still himself after being a year out of football. Like, it's like that. I was like, I'm good with that. Now, the other thing that in the press conference that I still don't believe, and I think 98% of the time he's never going to be there. He never really committed that he was going to be in the slot. And so it's one of those that we're talking about it. He mentions it, but it's not really, he's going to compliment those guys. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be in the slot. And I'm still not convinced that he's going to be a slot guy. I still think he's going to be an outside guy. I think I could see him in the slot in this case. One of the Washington boys, Barrios or Craycraft, one of the four, ends up inside the slot. You take him off the field, and you put OBJ on the slot, and then you put Waddle and Tyreek outside. And that's and maybe OBJ comes in motion to get into the slot. Yeah. So that way you can get your hands on him and you can loosen him up a little bit more. I can see something like that. He's not really a slot player. So I kind of think they're still kind of got to mess with this. And I still think he's going to be on the outside. So you tell me what you picked up from the press conference, and what do you think the player is still going to be on the Dolphins offense?
Yeah, he's got a majority of his experience on the outside, as he mentioned. So but there's just so many motions in this Mike McDaniel offense that I think you nailed it there, is that you can have him starting off outside and then motioning inside, and then defenders are all in flux, trying to figure out where everyone's going, and that opens things up for him, especially when defenses are focusing in on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Or it could be Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle starting off inside to him on the outside, and then they're going to that motion to the outside that became so big last year. That could then work out into that orbit motion as well. So there's just so many different variations that could be worked in. I mean, I just know Mike McDaniel's head is probably just churning out all these different scenarios of what he can do, and then he just can't wait to go and actually put them on the field in whether it's these OTAs and, whenever you get all of them together, same time, mandatory mini camp and going into training camp on just working out these things and then also getting to throwing to them.
What do you got going on the Sun Sentinel so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, recently covered that Odell Beckham introduction, wrote a nice story on that. The schedule release, so we got all the coverage on that, how it went down, breaking it down every matchup, and now, I'll be writing about this TUA deal today, and I still got a lot of rookie minicamp interviews. I'll eventually write about Byron Matos and anything else that I can still pluck from that, and then we go into OTAs next week. So plenty going on.
All right, good stuff as always. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Reach out to our friends at Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. We got hurricane season right here now, right around the corner. So you want to make sure you have their number because God forbid we get hit by a storm or water storm or whatever, it could happen. You guys know water damage can happen at any time. Before you call the insurance companies, in fact, don't call them at all. You call Welton Rayom, they send over their own adjusters, and they call the insurance company, and they take over on your behalf, so that way you're properly defended. 954-966-4646. David, have a great weekend, my brother.
Yes, sir. You too, Big O.
You got it. All right, hour number 2 is next. The one and only Manny Navarro and our Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report is next.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-NE.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on a Big O radio show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
Let's rock and roll. Yes, sir. Don't forget Canes Wear. You can use our code BIGO10. You will get 10% off. So if you want to get that messy jersey, get something Heat, get something Panthers. They are kind of the best team in town, so you can get that. And pretty much anything and everything with the Canes logo on it. So check it out there at Caneswear. Use our code BIG010. And if you get over $99, you will get free shipping. So even if you don't live in town and you want to order from outside, free shipping, and use our code BIG010 when you go over $99. There we go. And Manny, let me tell you, Bitcoin started pumping during Farrow' segment. So
all right, I'm going to try to keep it going for you, brother.
Yeah, he's passed the baton on to you. So it's at 66,700 right now.
All
so
right.
by the end of this interview, you need to be at least over 66,800 more, maybe 900, maybe 67,000. Okay, so
all right, I'm gonna try to carry my weight here.
All right, so let's get it done here. All right, so what's the latest? Obviously, we're working on recruiting in 25. So what's the latest?
Yeah, I picked up a commitment last night from a kid who's kind of an underrated prospect, somebody who's sort of coming on late here, an interior offensive lineman who reminds a lot of people of Inez Cooper, who, of course, has been a pretty good steal for Miami. His name is Takalen Muix. He's out of the Jacksonville area, 6'4", 340 pounds as a high school senior. Big boy. And really hadn't been getting recruited by any of the big-time schools yet. Just a lot of the in-state schools, FAU, UCF, were some of the schools he was looking at. But again, Mario went into Alabama, which of course was Nick Saban territory, and identified Inez Cooper, a guy who was a big-bodied, kind of overweight lineman. Inez Cooper has come here and become a 2-year, going on his 3rd year being a starter on this offensive line. So he obviously knows how to identify offensive linemen. So, a good pickup to get that commitment early in the process. Now you just got to hold on for the next 7 months and make sure the kid signs with you. That's the way it is.
If he goes out and has an amazing year, then he gets even more offers and more free trips, and then he gets enticed and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of get it. Hey, I give Mario credit on this. You're right. It's a good point that he can identify a lineman. So he does a good job with that, because you look at Michael Jordan, he couldn't identify a star if it bit him in the ass. And he was maybe the worst talent evaluator, and we're talking about the greatest player to ever play in that sport. You know what I mean? So it's funny, just because you played the game doesn't necessarily mean you're good at eyeing the talent.
Right. And I think that's really important in today's game of college football, where offensive linemen and defensive linemen, both of them, that's where you win the game. And I would say a lot of the evaluations that are done by these recruiting websites obviously isn't going to be as good as a guy who knows what he's doing, like Mario Cristobal, who just knows certain traits, picks up certain things that he can see in a guy who's that big, and say he can move. He can actually move his body around and do what he needs to do. And so I think kudos to Mario for the success he's had so far. And I think if you're a Miami fan, be happy that you have a guy at a very important position that can evaluate talent like that.
Let me give you an off-the-ball question that I just thought of right now. Since you follow it every day on the beat and you got your people inside, what do you see different in this offseason than the first 2 off seasons for Mario? Where have you seen growth?
Well, I think this is definitely 100% his team now. There's only 7 guys left from the Manny Diaz era that were recruited here during the Manny Diaz era among the 85 scholarship players. So to me, these are all guys who at their core were Mario guys. So that mentality of whatever it was that those other guys had before, the Tyler Van Dykes of the world, pretty much gone. And if you're still here, if you're among the 7 that are still here, it's because Mario vetted you really, really well and thinks you can hang around. So to me, I just think that's the difference going into year 3. You still had a lot of other guys that were part of Manny Diaz, because Mario basically couldn't replace all of them. He couldn't go out and get every single replacement that he wanted. It takes time to build those rosters. So now in year 3, I think this is 100%. Every single one of his guys has his attitude, his mentality, and it's his team now.
66,861.
We're going up.
Yeah, you're damn right. It was at 7. $150 here since.
All right, brother. Good. That means I'm doing a good job.
That's my point. You're continuing the ride here.
All right, good.
You might get us over 67,000. There's a candle that's just Let me see where I can. Let me see if I can bring it up. Right here, 60. There we go. Let me see if I can bring it up, and we can share while we're doing the interview. We can share the screen, and hopefully, see.
There you go. There you go.
6,
Moving on up.
9. There we go. Although I just put it and then went to 821. But anyway, so okay, and that's why you want to see progress. Obviously, you want to make sure that the team is headed in the right direction. We haven't seen it yet in the win column. But again, it's great that you brought up this point. When you take over, it's about redoing the foundation. And when you haven't won for like 20 years and you don't know how to win and you haven't been a winning program and you haven't been a stud program, everything needs to be reprogrammed. And that's kind of what you're saying, that there's 7 guys left from those kids that you probably couldn't reprogram because they were kind of set in their ways. So you either had to weed them out or they had to just finally just end their time and graduate and move on. And so now you've got your guys, but in the process, what you have to do is kind of rebuild that foundation is what you're doing here. And so that's the question. Do you have the foundation that wants to work hard and get it done and not and be tough in those moments? By the way, 66,900. You're getting it done.
Yeah, I think it's a big part of it. And that's why so many coaches, the timeline is usually 3 years. And you look at Mike Norvell, his first 2 years of Florida State really weren't great. They were not very good. He dealt with a lot of issues flipping that roster. And look, he did it a different way. He did it primarily through the transfer portal. A lot of the high school kids he didn't recruit weren't that good. I think Mario's doing it a little bit differently. It's a combination of both. He's obviously sprinkled in the Ruben Baines and the Francis Maui Noahs and the Inez Coopers and guys that, to me, are foundational pieces. Whereas I think you look at Florida State's roster and you say, well, how many of those guys are high school recruits that turned out to be really good? Not a lot of them. You look at the NFL draft this year, of the 10 guys they had drafted, 9 of them were transfers, guys that at some point or another came into the program via the transfer portal. I think for Mario, the next couple of years are going to be big. If you can show, hey, we recruited a Ruben Bain and a Francis Maui Noah and an Inez Cooper, and those guys end up in the first or second round, you can sell that, and that is where you really, I think, take off as a program. Hey, not only can you recruit these guys that are super talented and top end recruits, but now you're helping them reach their maximum potential, and they're winning awards and helping you win championships and helping you go to the college football playoff. That's how you get Miami to go from being an also-ran team in the ACC to maybe the best team in the ACC and maybe a consistent national championship contender.
Yeah, and listen, man, again, we got to see them win and win those games, but you've got to have the right kids in order to do it. And let's hope, because we haven't seen the right kids, bro.
Right.
We saw a guy a couple of years ago completely avoid a tackle in the open field.
Right.
Like he made like a decision there, like, what? That these are things that we got to put in the rearview mirror, kind of like you're about to put 67,000. You just put 66,000 in the rearview mirror. I saw the 67.
We popped in there. We made it. We made it to 67.
You made it to 67.
It's floating right around there, brother. We're hanging tight. We're hanging tight there.
Yeah, we got to put in the rearview mirror these sorry ass players that weren't getting it done, and you gotta put 67,000 and more in front of us, bro.
Yeah.
So like now, by the way, when we talk about facilities and all that kind of stuff, is there any new things, any changes, anything?
Yeah, I think I think the priority right now is the roster, the players, the coaching staff. That facility, and I've said this on another podcast earlier this week, that facility, it'd be awesome to have, right? But in reality, what's going to help you win? A facility or having the best players in college football on your team?
Winning.
That's what's going to keep this going. And so while I know Miami is still raising money and raising funds to build, a incredible football facility, I think that's something that could come if Miami makes the playoff this year. A lot more people are going to want to be opening up their wallets if they see Mario get this program to the playoff, right? I think so. At some point, you got to have ROI, return on investment, right? And I think the moment you do that, okay, now you're getting more donors to come out and say, okay, we'll help you with your $300 million, build for this facility. Right now, though, I think it's about winning. I think that's a priority. Eventually, they will get to building that thing whenever it happens, or upgrading what they have right now in the process. That was part of it too. For the next couple of years, they're supposed to be upgrading what they already have. So, it's a process. I would just say, think about what the product is on the field over what's off the field.
Yeah, no, listen, I know it's a different sport. Same sport, but different level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny because the Dolphins were rated the number 1 in the NFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City Chiefs were rated the worst.
Yeah, and look what they did.
So in the end, if Mario can win, if Mario can develop players and send them to the NFL, then that's when the cycle starts.
Right.
And that's when it's in absolute cruise control.
Yep.
That's all. You want to get into cruise control? Prove to parents and prove to the kids that you've got a winning program, that you're going to develop players, and that you're going to get them to the highest level. And if all those things are happening and you're in Miami,
yep,
forget it, bro. The kids flock to you.
And that's ultimately what he came here to do. This is not hey, let's have a good run for a couple of years. No, this is put Miami back to where Miami's supposed to be. It's supposed to be permanent, right? It's supposed to be a thing that just goes on for decades, and Miami is back to looking like Miami. He didn't come here to just, have a quick turnaround. This is to change the program forever.
And by the way, one more thing, we got a caveat we have to add to this. If something happens where teams do start leaving, you want to be as sexy as possible so people can say, no, dude, let's bring Miami over. They're going to bring people, they're going to bring ratings and all of that. But if you're the same shit you've been the last 20 years, they can say, El Paso, we're good. We don't need you. You know what I mean? Just like we need 67,000. No, on a serious, we do need 67 and 68 and 60. No, but seriously, that's so there's a lot on the line here for the program. You're putting the money in, you got the coach, but your future is a little hazy as a conference because you got some teams that are already trying to work their way out of it in FSU and Clemson, and you don't want to be left holding the bag, and then all of a sudden you're the big least part 2 again.
Right.
Where it's just you, like the big least. It was just you and nobody else. And you just don't want to do that. So be sexy. So maybe they say, well, wait a minute. No, we got to have. And so now all of a sudden you've got the Big Ten and you've got the SEC maybe both salivating to add you instead of both saying, you're an also-ran. You're nothing. El Paso.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's what you want to be. You want to definitely be the best of the least, if that's the worst case scenario, right? You want to have that opportunity to at least be the best available team that somebody would want to add. But there's so many interesting things going on in college football right now, that I think people down here don't necessarily pay attention to. The whole revenue sharing model that college football is trying to come up with now, so that these athletic departments can just pay the players. How that's going to change things is going to be fascinating to watch. You mentioned, Florida State and Clemson. North Carolina now is a school that's sort of creating waves. We had a long discussion. If people want to check this out at some point when your show's over, to go watch the Until Saturday podcast that I recorded yesterday with Ari Wasserman and Chris Vanini, 2 of our best national guys, where we talked a lot about the transfer portal and then the ACC and the sort of state of the ACC and TV dollars and all that kind of stuff. We kind of, I think down here, being a South Florida native, I can speak for the community. I think most of us just were, hey, is Mario going to win? You don't really look beyond that, right? When it comes to college football, but there is so many interesting things going on in college football right now that I think people need to be aware of, beyond just, hey, what's happening to our team? Because the conference realignment between players, like I said, the TV revenue gap that's being created, and then the compensation for players, back pay for guys who didn't get paid during the NIL era, who feel like they're owed something. There's just so much going on, and it could really change the way we look at college sports pretty soon if some of these rulings go down.
You want to stick around for 68,000? Because you know, a little cocky because that shit is pumping, bro. It's pumping.
Yeah, we are on the rise, brother. I think I might have to stick around with you here to help to see where this thing goes, where we take off.
Yeah, we pumping, baby. We pumping. I love it, bro. We're up how much? 2.5% right now. Is that what it is?
That's what it is since you started.
2% right now. We're up. I mean, it was up 7% a couple days ago, and then now another almost 2.3% right now. Not bad.
No.
You did your job, bro.
All right, good. I feel good about that.
Kind of like Brett at Canes, we're always strong. Remember, use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off online or in person. And if you don't live close and you want to order online, go ahead. Over $99, you will get free shipping. So go check it out there. Manny, what do you got going on in the athletics so folks can check you out, my friend?
Well, we've been putting out a bunch of different stories. We did a whole QB carousel thing for all the Power 4 conferences that came out earlier this week. There'll be plenty of recruiting coverages previewing all the sort of visit periods that are coming up. I will be handling the ACC, SEC, and a lot of the other stuff here in the state of Florida. So we'll keep ourselves busy, man, with recruiting stuff here in the next few weeks.
All right, by Tuesday, we'll be over 70,000 when we're talking to you the next time around.
There we are. That's where I hope to be. That's where I want you to be, brother.
75,000 maybe. Who knows?
There you go.
This might be the rebound we've been waiting for during this dip. Manny, have a great weekend, my brother. Follow him on Twitter, by the way, folks, at Manny_Navarro, and please subscribe to The Athletic. Appreciate you, man. Have a fantastic weekend.
You too, brother. Take care.
Got it. There you go. Caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at Caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Oscar's asking me if I would have my stuff selling at Caneswear. First of all, have you been there? You ever been to Caneswear, Oscar? I don't think he's been to Caneswear, right? I don't think he's really ever been to Caneswear. Do you know how loaded that place is? So I'm going to ask him to put my stuff, to take their stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that takes up their space, Oscar. This is a business. And so then, then I'm also going to have to give them a cut, right? So why not just go online and order it, Oscar? I don't understand that. What's the difference? It's there. Support us that way. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think you guys think of everything through when you ask stuff. Like, have you been to Caneswear? There's no space there. So yeah, no, come on. I've got like 14 shirts. Let's just put them up here. Let's put 5 or 6 of them. So he's got to take out 5 or 6 of what? I would put Brett in a really uncomfortable position by asking him. Maybe he does it out of a favor because he and I have known each other for 15, 20 years, whatever the hell it's been. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird. So yeah, no, dude. No, that's just no. No. What I Jack says, Coinbase has Bitcoin at 67,100, Tangent at 66,800. Why is that? I've explained that already. And so this is why I've told you guys that if you go to crypto.com, like they have it at one price. Like right now, Bitcoin's at 67,136. If I went to go buy Bitcoin at At crypto.com, it's at 67,774. So I'm purchasing it at a much more expensive price. On Cash App, it's at 67,152. You're saving yourself $600. And by the way, who's the one that tells you to buy it at Cash App? Who's the one always looking out for you? Who's the one trying to get you the proper information, accurate? Football, basketball, crypto. So I told you that you have to shop around and get the best prices. And then I gave you not only that, because if you buy it on Kraken or you buy it on crypto.com or on Coinbase, it might be a little bit more expensive than what the real price is. And so on Cash App, not only do you buy it there and you get a reasonable price compared to others, but you also send it over to your cold storage wallet, One Eye Jack, for what? For free. No gas fee. It's free. Who's looking out for you? Who's constantly looking out for you? Anyway, we got you. We got you. We're constantly looking out for you. Always making you money. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can even make a Bitcoin donation, which would be always a beautiful thing. And, of course, you got a super chat there. And remember our merch department. You can go. We have a QR code. You'll see it there when Sean puts it up. And then, of course, we have the link on our YouTube page. Oscar Rojas, the link's on the YouTube page. And then you can also go to bigoradioshow.myshopify.com. No, I've never been there, but I thought you would have been maybe a little display of yours. My bad. I know you got to give him percentage, but it's another outlet, another way. But, bro, you've never been there. That place is overloaded. There's no space for my shirts. There's no space. Pretty soon, okay? Sean, eventually we won't be broadcasting from inside anymore. You know, that they're going to run out of being able just to give us a space for the table, and we'll be outside again. I mean, I'm just you. I can tell you've never been there. That place is overloaded. They sell Heat, Marlins, Panthers, Inter Miami, and Canes gear. 5 teams and overloaded. And a lot of the other teams, you know, it's not just Canes. And that's something that a lot of things, you know, because it's really Miami sportswear, Canes wear, you know, it's Miami fan wear. Because they really have a ton of Heat stuff, a ton of, you know, Panthers and Dolphin stuff. They got so many things Dolphin-wise that you can go get. You know, it's really cool. So I know it's called Caneswear, but really Caneswear at Miami Fanwear, because there's a lot of stuff for the South Florida teams. So it's an amazing place. It's a dangerous place. There are so many cool things. You want to leave with all of it. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Why don't we? Alan Blanco and the great people at 3A Graphics tonight, 7 o'clock, TNT, Panthers at Bruins. Panthers favored by 1.5 goals. Bruins over and under Panthers. It's 5.5 goals. Panthers minus 148 on the money line, and the Bruins are plus 124. The Rangers eliminated the Canes yesterday in a 4-2 series win. The game was 5-3 Rangers. T-Wolves last night, they handed it to the Nuggets 114-70. So the series is tied at 3. We go to game 7. Ant-Man had 27 points. Jaden McDaniels, by the way, added 21. Jokic was an inefficient 9 of 19 for 22 points. Tonight, 8:30, Knicks at Pacers. And the Pacers are favored by 6. The over and under is 215.5. Knicks are plus 195 on the money line, and the Pacers are minus 238 on the money line. Saturday, Inter Miami hosting DC United Inter favored by a goal and a half, plus 110 there. And the over and under is 3.5 goals. Inter is minus 230 on the money line. DC United's plus 475. Messi was in practice, full practice early this morning with the team. So it looks like an indicator that Messi probably will play, which is what I thought. Remember, we talked about this earlier in the week, that this was a 2-game week, and why, he got dinged up in the last game. Why push it? No reason to push it. At least they were able to get a draw, which is, to me, that was the worst case scenario. Unacceptable was losing. At least the draw. I wanted you to win the damn game because I think you could have, but whatever. Tata isn't anything, him and his little grayish purple hair ain't anything impressive. But with Messi, hopefully the offense comes back, because it usually does, and they can win tomorrow on Saturday night against DC United, which is, the better team out of the two between Orlando and DC. Right now, DC slightly better. So there you go. Hold out Messi against the lesser team on a short week on the road. Smart move. I like it. And they pulled out the other guys like in the 60-something minute. Remember, they pulled out Suarez, and they pulled out somebody else. And they brought Alba in late and all that. So I like I got to give, you know what? I didn't mention that too, Sean. I really like the way Tata has handled the whole week, how he also didn't overplay Suarez here and gave him a rest, didn't burn out Alba also in a week where they've got to play 2 games. So that's freaking awesome. Tata, I may not be impressed with your coaching, but the managing this week of your players, especially Messi, beautiful. Perfection. Love it. Tony Zagales, you are a badass. You sent us right now on Cash App a little love, some Bitcoin love. That is awesome. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can make a Bitcoin donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. Nobody's ever made a Bitcoin donation on Venmo. It's really amazing. Okay? It's always been Cash App. I guess most people use Cash App. Very few people use Venmo, I guess, or maybe at least for crypto, they're only using Cash App. They don't use Venmo. It's really a strange thing. And then, by the way, Tony put Tua will get paid. I think so too. So I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm going to try to find out stuff. And if it happens after the show, I may do something special. So be aware. Okay. Anyone heard of trading rumors that Miami possibly trading for DT Jonathan Allen from Washington Commanders? Beast Mode, this is what I would ask you. Who's reporting that? That's how I always kill all of those things. What legitimate reporter is reporting that? Please tell me, show me the source that's reporting that, like a legit source. Is it somebody that breaks stories? Because I'm getting now Jonathan Simmons. And it's like, yo, man, where are you getting this? And I've gotten a couple of those Simmons texts, DMs and all that. I'm like, where are you getting this? What's the legitimate source? And I got it like a couple times in the last couple days, and they couldn't answer. They didn't answer back. So I would ask you, Beast Mode, what's the legitimate source reporting that the Dolphins are interested in trading for Jonathan Allen? Please tell me the legitimate source, because that's where it dies every time, this conversation. And every time I have to tell you, if it's not a legitimate source, why are you listening, following, and repeating that? Like, oh, you know what? Here, I'll give you one. I'll give you one I saw glancing while I was talking. because some of you, you're just parrots. You repeat, and you really don't think for yourselves. So you kind of say shit that other people, stupid people, also say, but you repeat it, and then you don't. Okay, here we go. Abraham Valdez. I'm with you, Big O. I have a feeling Greer proposed to Tiny Tua some low-hanging fruit. Honestly, Big O, I worry about Tua. He's so small and shrinks in big moments. Okay. So, this, again, I'm kind of tired of trying to convince stupid people like this, but he hears a media member say it who's just as dumb as him, but because they have a media credential, it's kind of, so he lost and he shrunk against the Ravens this year. But did he shrink and lose against the Ravens the year before or the year before that? I'm wondering. Or you just remember the Ravens game this year, so it's on Tua. But the other two Ravens games the last 2 years, they're not on Tua? Abraham Valdez? Was that shrinking? So you remember the Kansas City game, right? But you don't remember the first Kansas City game that Tua put it right in Tyreek's hands? That would have been points. And then Tyreek fumbled away a touchdown, which Tyreek by himself lost that game because both quarterbacks threw for 180 yards. But you don't remember that. And then the year before, Detroit, they were down. And in the second half, he came back. But you don't remember that. Oh, and you don't remember on fourth down against the Patriots, was it his rookie year or his second year that he split the safeties to win the game? Was that his first or second year, Sean? Do you remember what I'm talking about? But you remember the play, right? Splitting the safeties on fourth down. Do you remember when he split the safeties also against the Bills? So you want to remember conveniently when he doesn't show up. But when he does, that's what you forget. And that's why people like you, Abraham Valdez, I have no fucking respect for. No fucking respect. Zero fucking respect. Because you're just parrots. So he shrunk in the national championship game? Or is it that the Dolphins have been shrinking as a franchise for 20 years? Did Marino shrink, bro, against New England 3 times in one season with Jimmy Johnson? Huh, Abraham Valdez? Just wondering. I guess because Marino never won it, so did he just shrink every time he got to the playoffs, or did he not have enough? I'm tired of trying to convince stupid people who just want to remember whatever they want to remember and not what really has gone on in totality. Where the guy has won more than he's lost. He's thrown way more touchdowns than he's thrown interceptions. He hasn't had everything he needs yet because he had no team the first couple of years. And the last 2 years, his team has been completely injury-riddled, and he wasn't even there available the year before. He's only been to the playoffs one time. That's it. Abraham, bro, you are the typical parrot that just listens to sports talk radio or reads a lazy writer. That's all, dude. That's all. You guys want to remember whatever is convenient for you, but you're not objective. You don't remember everything. And you make it sound like a quarterback is supposed to win everything all by himself when there's a team involved in it. So you don't remember in Buffalo when on one drive where Tua throws 2 touchdowns to Sheffield and to Tyreek and they both drop him? You don't remember that? And in that same game, he throws a beautiful bomb to Braylon Sanders, who cuts the route short. You don't remember that either. These are important games against the Bills, but it's all on Tua. Brother, I am tired of stupid people. I'm just tired of stupid people. I don't have the patience. I'm not a guy I don't tolerate. I just don't. And that's why I'm not an easy follow. I get it. I don't play the fan game here. I don't play Mr. Nice Guy all the time. And, oh, you don't understand, Mr. Valdez. And let me explain to you and be Mr. Nice. No, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. I'm not here, bro, to just tolerate constant stupidity. Just not here for it. So I'm going to straighten your ass out. And that's it. Oh my God, he's so rude. Sorry. You know what's rude to me? Your stupidity. Your stupidity is rude to me. So either get smart or shut the hell up. That's what I say. I hope we're clear, Valdez. I hope I'm being 100% crystal on this. Like there's no miss here in the interpretation of my delivery and what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? So sit back and think and try to think for yourselves at times. I know it's really hard because the lazy thing is, hey, I'll just repeat what he says. Yeah, you want Jarvis Landry. Okay, let's do it. You want Ryan Tannehill as your backup quarterback. Yeah, no, that was written last week. Clickbait if I've ever seen it. But go ahead, Valdez. Why don't you go ask Joe Rose when he comes back next week? You know, I'm sure he was off today, right? Or was on today. Well, you'll get him on Monday. And on Monday, why don't you ask Joe Rose, hey, why don't we bring back Ryan Tannehill as our backup quarterback? Because that makes all the sense in the world. This is what we deal with. So a lot of people out there have selective memory. The Simone sniper is a baller. When he takes us to the promised land, I wonder what none of them, they'll all disappear because we don't track what they say. So it's typical, dude. It's just the typical lazy shit. And it comes from the media too, because it doesn't fit in your article. It won't help you to be objective. You know, it's TUA skipping voluntary work. Well, do we know exactly what's going on? Are you sure it's anything with the contract, or is it something that was already pre-planned and and these are voluntary? Okay, you kind of know this guy. This is not the guy that does this kind of stuff. It's kind, But no, let's jump to conclusions because it's going to get us some clicks. Let me post on there. TUA Holding out with a face like. And so you click on to, oh my God, he's holding out. Joel Yama says, I love that. You know what's rude to me? Your stupidity. Yeah. Yeah. Ocala Joe. Oh, you're so rude. Ocala Joe's like, I would have told that guy the same shit. Cap for Life says, I was wrong about the Dolphins re-signing Wilkins. Big O called it, bro. I'm accountable. Yeah, but Cap for Life, I have insight. That's the difference. You understand? You're a fan. You don't count, dude. I love you, but you don't count. You're a fan. You're just guessing. You don't have any insight. I laugh at the media members. Those people that some of them that act like they have insight. No, they're going to re-sign him. No, he's the heart and soul of the defense. Oh, no, they'll tag him. I read or listen to that when I'm in the car or I catch it online. I read it and I laugh my ass off. I'm like, yeah, you don't know anything. You have no idea. They don't want to re-sign him. They didn't want to re-sign him last year. So you think still they're going to tag him? What do you know anything? Do you know he's raising hell inside the building? That he was not happy he didn't get his contract last year? And he told everybody? Oh, you didn't know about that. Okay. So I get Cap for Life. I appreciate you coming clean that, you didn't guess right. But for me, my problem was more about some of the media members acting like, and I'm like, okay, you don't really have any insight. And that's really the funny part. Okay. Just like I told you guys, they're done with Tyreek. They're done with Tyreek. Done. That's it. He'll be playing for somebody else in 2025. Big O, you ordered the code red. Yes, I did. I will always order the code red. When Omar is saying Wilkins is the heart and soul, he was one of those guys. That's when we all had a good laugh. He was one. I forgot what he said about Wilkins. Oh, wait a minute. No, actually, I remember him saying that he would get tagged. I remember that because I remember I was in the car and he was with Joe, and Joe is the heart and soul guy, and Omar was the tag guy. I remember that. I have a pretty good memory on that. I remember that. Orlando, the daughter gave me a plaque that says, sarcasm is the body's defense against stupidity. Exactly. Let's see. All right. Got a bunch of things to talk about, man. Yeah, and stop with the Justin Simmons stuff. I have not heard anything about Justin Simmons. So I don't know why you guys keep reaching out to me about Justin Simmons again. And by the way, did that guy ever say where he got the story from? Because I'm pretty sure he probably didn't. Oh, yeah, Beast Mode. There we go. Where's Beast Mode? Did Beast Mode ever answer? Yeah, I didn't think so. Kind of like the other guys. Did he?
No, he didn't answer, but somebody else did and said it was a Bleacher Report story. Nobody that reporting it.
Okay. All right. So that's I try to tell you guys that all the time. Whatever story it is, look at the person and say, do I get Dolphin news from this person? Do they break news all the time? No. So then why would this be real? And then on top of all of that, is this a media member? Do they actually have access? Because I know some of you fans that have like podcasts and things like that, and you want to act like you have insight, but you really don't have any insight. So all you do is guess. Try to find the people that are, I don't know, constantly doing it, constantly tell you what's going on, and it constantly happens. I think those are the people you might want to follow. The people that constantly tell you. Anybody can guess. Troy Ortiz can guess. That's media members can guess all they want. Oh, he's a heart and soul. Guess. Oh, for sure they'll tag him. Guess. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where it's got to be at. So that's what you got to do. So Tyreek Hill is expecting his 11th child. Keita, his wife, which, by the way, she gives me a good vibe. It's almost like Tyreek might have found himself a good woman, but I don't know if he ends up screwing this one up too. But she kind of looks like she wants to kind of straighten him out a little bit, but it is what it is. And they almost had a divorce, and now they're expecting their child, and it's Tyreek's 11th child with 5 different women, apparently. Wow. That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of kids. He is going to be one broke former athlete. Okay. One very broke former athlete. And this would be my suggestion to him. If he wants his money to last just a little longer, stay with Keita. Don't make her another ex, because then it becomes even more expensive. You have enough exes, you have enough kids with other women, you're going to be paying a boatload of child support. And you're going to carry all these kids till you're 18. Okay? You know, this is why the Dolphins will move on from Tyreek. It's the vibe that I'm getting from everything. It's been too much, and it doesn't stop. And so they've got to get off this train this year, unfortunately. You know, and the interesting part, there is an out. And as always, Shore and Greer and McKenzie and Allen, they run this thing. And by the way, next year you will pay Waddle and you will draft another young receiver. And let me give you a little caveat to all of this. Something that nobody else is going to talk about because we are usually ahead of the curve on everybody else. OBJ doesn't know if he's coming back for next year. But I'll tell you this, there could be a chance that he comes back for one more year. Why? Well, you're cutting Tyreek next year because you've got to pay Waddle. You will draft a first-round pick. You will hope that one of these Washington boys develops, right? And maybe you get, let's say, just for the crap's sake, Malik develops out of the two, and you got yourself a slot guy. You will draft another outside guy. But in the process of drafting that outside guy, since he is going to be a rook next year, and he's got to learn an offense, it's not easy and all that, guess what you do? You bring back Odell Beckham one more season, because if he had a good season this year, played well, stayed injury-free, you say, hey, he can still play. We'll keep him one more year so we can bring the kid along slowly, and Waddle will be the number one. We'll have Jonnu Smith. We'll have Malik. You know, we'll have everybody else in place. We'll have our running backs, and we'll move on. And I could actually see if Odell, I'm not worried about off the field, because he's not really an off the field problems guy. He used to be a problem in the locker room or on the field, like stupid stuff. He's not a criminal or anything like that. But the stupid stuff, right? All that stuff is gone. So I'm not worried about that anymore. All I'm really worried about is that he stays in one piece, that, you know, that his body is intact. So that's what could happen next year. Okay. So this whole Tyreek thing, it just leads to other stuff. And the Dolphins, I'm sure, have gotten to a point where they just, you know, we got lucky with the Pier incident, and then we have the IG model incident, you know, and then he's got a fire, even though whatever, but it's his kid. And then they got the fake divorce, and then the incident at the comedy club. And, you know, it's just too much. And you cannot be one of the 3, 4, 5 most important players on the team and be a problem. You have to be like Teron Armstead and like Jalen Ramsey and like Tua Tagovailoa. You know, if you're going to be one of the top players, you need to be top character at the same time. You have to set an example like Chubb or Phillips. You know, I know Jalen is young, Phillips and Waddle, but shit, dude, come on, dude. Just look at him. Phillips and Waddle aren't people you have issues with. They get it. They're grown men. They're professionals all the way through. You're Chris Greer and Marvin Allen and Reggie McKenzie, and you can sleep like a baby. You know that Jalen Phillips isn't going to do stupid shit. You know Jalen Waddle isn't going to get into stupid shit. You already know about, you know, what's it called? Teron Armstead and Tua and those kind of guys. There's no shot any of those people. But as you add these new cats, you don't know them, right? But look at them, dude. Look at the character. That's what you want. Javon Holland. Pro's pro, dude. So the Tyreek Hill thing is, unfortunately, it's been a great run. It's been fun. And if I'm Tyreek, I would be on my best behavior this year, is what I would do if I'm Tyreek. So, rough one. Bitcoin 67,232. So we didn't go down after Manny. It's held there. So that's good. Now we're moving up. I like it. We're gradually moving up instead of just complete, shot up, and then you have a little bit of a consolidation, and it comes back like it did before. And this time it went up to 66,000. It stayed right at 65, 66, and now it's jumped up to 67. So that's nice. It's nice to see that. Big O, Tyreek should consider the accidents that accidents cause people. Yeah. What else? Oh, what's your definition of an elite clutch time quarterback? A guy that can win, period. That's all. But you need a team that can win too at the same time. You can have a good quarterback, but you better have a team around him. There's no such thing as a quarterback that carries the entire team. So, that part doesn't exist in football. You got to have the team. Look, Mahomes wasn't really the reason why they won this year. It wasn't really their offense. It was their defense that carried them this year. That was the ultimate difference maker. And it made life easier for the offense that was bad. They didn't have to go out there and score a ton of points all the time because the defense limited them. Sometimes it's a catch-22, man. It helps you, but you've got to have the team. That's all. It's not just one guy. That's your problem and a lot of other people's problems, that they don't really understand football and they think they put it all on one guy. And so then that's why you have a short-sighted approach to all of this. Ocala Joe sending in a little Bitcoin action. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. And he said, for the reincarnation of Neil Rogers today. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, Ocala Joe. That's very kind. Very kind. Let's see. What else do we have going on? And listen, I know I talked to what's it called, to David about this, but let me explain something to you on the TUA holdouts, or not holdout, but not reporting completely to all the voluntary workouts. First of all, notice how he did report to some of the voluntary workouts, not all. So it kind of tells me it's not really about contract. It's probably more about he had some other commitments because he's working on his body, working with another QB coach, all that kind of stuff. And again, you're not running 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s in these workouts. This is more about conditioning. This is more about treatment. This is more about classwork. And if you do anything outside in the field, it might be more of a walkthrough. There's no pads, no nothing, none of that stuff. So that tells me that there's more to this story than just, oh, I haven't gotten my contract yet. Remember, Chris Greer told you in one of the press conferences that they had put their conversations on hold because they were going into draft preparations, and that the TUA camp also understood that, at this moment, you need to focus on the draft, not on contract negotiations, because that's a distraction at the moment. And so they were willing to table that till after the draft. So that tells me everything is amicable. And TUA's not really that kind of guy. So I would like to find out a little bit more information about what's going on and not just go off the cuff that this is just pure holdout. Okay? So that's what I'd like to say to you, because I kind of see this story and I kind of think there's more to it. I'm going to try to dig and see if I can find out. And if I can, then I'll do something about it, and we'll talk about it. Okay? So look for it. Always hit the notification bells. By the way, 172 likes and 161 are watching. You people are awesome. Thank you very much. Sean and I thank you for that. Okay? So that's impressive. So thank you. I'm sure some of the 161 hasn't even hit the like button yet, because you have people coming in and out constantly. So the more people that hit that like button, thank you. You get it out there. More fans will find out about it, and they can get like real good information on our teams. Rise Taylor, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Very nice of you. Big O, if Hill delivers against the top teams and stays out of trouble during the offseason next year, then you consider keeping him around. Also, I'm new in Robinhood, a better platform than Coinbase. No, I would not use Robinhood at all. Now, if you're a stocks guy, I can understand. But if you're doing crypto, I would rather go to crypto.com. I'd rather use, if you're just going to buy Bitcoin straight up, go to Cash App and then move it to your cold storage wallet. I'm not a Robinhood guy. I would not use Robinhood if you paid me. Think about that. Robinhood could call me and say, we want you to be a sponsor and our spokesperson. And I would say, no. No, thank you. I need the money, but no, thank you. I'm not ruining my reputation for you guys. So, just saying. Cold storage wallet and buy it in other places. That would be my suggestion, Rise Taylor. Let's see. Another reason I like this upper management of Greer, Allen, McKenzie, they not only ask for talent to be on the field, but talent as people off of it. Respect the hell out of them for that. Yeah, Chop looks like a hell of a dude. I love the Kamara kid. Not only do I like him talent-wise, right, but I also love his dude. His brother told him, so you made it to the locker room. That's fantastic, bro. That's one of the great lines. And it's like, have you found a home? Well, I haven't made the team yet. And love that, dude. Love that about that guy. And one of the things that I like about him is that because he's undersized, because he doesn't have all the tangibles that you would love, the height, the length, and all that kind of stuff, he's had to overcome all of that. So he's got an internal dog in him. And again, he doesn't look like a kid that gets in trouble also. I don't know. We'll see. But a lot of these guys, man, look at Jalen Waddle. It's just, it's what you're talking about, True Fin fan. Just these people are just Austin Jackson. Just a great dude. Fantastic dude. Liam Eichenberg. What's wrong with Liam Eichenberg? Fantastic dude. I know we need him to cross that threshold and all that, but good dude. A lot of them are like that. Braxton Berrios, good dude. Yeah. There's no doubt that they really want guys that are good people and professionals and things like that. You're going to have to take chances. It's football. The whole, that whole bullshit about you can't have 53 choir boys. It's true. Unfortunately, it's true. That's part of the game. There's going to be some guys in football that have a nasty edge to them. What are you going to do? Still over 67,000, so we're good there. So the Heat, do they draft Zach Edey? I can tell you this, okay? If you're going to draft Zach Edey, it won't be as a pitcher, okay? It won't be as a pitcher. That's for sure. Because Zach struggled a little bit. Oh, I think I lost it now. Damn it. Hold on. My bad. So Zach Edey went out for a first pitch. And wait a minute. Okay, there we go. So he came out for the first pitch. You know what? Let me pause it for you all before I put it up, because then you catch it right in the middle. So you can't have him for the Marlins. So that's the good thing now, right? Here's his first pitch. Now, I'm going to give Zach a break over Carl Lewis and 50 Cent and I don't know. Reel it off, bro. How many terrible people have thrown first pitches, Sean? There's been a crap ton of them that have thrown bad first pitches. Anyways, I'm trying to think of them now that have thrown really, really bad pitches. And here's where I'm going to give him a break over most people. A dude that big who doesn't play baseball normally to grab a baseball with those giant hands of his, okay, is probably near impossible. Seriously. It just to be able to hold, that's why he held it too long and it goes to the left, because the release was, those fingers. So he's releasing it too late. And that's why it hooks that way. Anybody that's played baseball and thrown the ball, we don't have to be major leaguers to know that, because if you've played it enough, the ball gets away from you that happens to all of us. At one point or another, we have a throw that sails on us or something like that, What are you going to say?
No, I got the 11 worst first pitches if you want them.
Well, go ahead. Give them to me. I'm just go ahead.
Anthony Fauci.
I don't
50 Cent.
But Anthony Fauci's 80-something years old. How the hell is he? That one's not fair. Okay, go ahead. 50 Cent was terrible. Go ahead.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh, yes, that was bad. But again,
Michael Jordan.
Well, he sucks at everything else. So, yeah, only he's only good as a basket. We're learning that about Michael. He sucks at gambling, sucks at picking basketball players, and he sucks at first pitches. Go ahead.
Baba Booey.
John
Wall.
Okay.
Well, this one nobody's going to know it. Miss Texas 2014 Monique Evans apparently didn't even make it to the home plate.
Okay.
Mariah Carey.
Well, I mean, do you really expect Mariah Carey to be able to throw a baseball? But okay, whatever. I mean, that's kind of unfair to pick on Mariah Carey or the other one, Monique or whatever. Come on,
Fauci.
And Fauci. I mean, that's low hanging fruit.
Snoop Dogg
right there. Go ahead. What's next? What's the other one?
Snoop Dogg was number 9.
Oh, he was terrible. But again, maybe he was so stoned out of his mind and he had resin on his fingers. So the ball stuck to his fingers. See, stoners are going, he pulled out the resin. All right, go ahead. Next.
Carl Lewis was number 10.
Terrible. He can't sing the national anthem and he couldn't pitch. Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Oh, he sucked too. But again, an Irish MMA guy. Am I expecting him to throw a baseball? No. Sorry. An Irish MMA fighter, I don't expect him to be able to shoot a basketball, throw a baseball, throw a football. I don't expect him to be able to do any of that. I don't think he'll have the skill set because he probably never played any of those sports. There's a better chance that Conor McGregor can kick a soccer ball around since he's from Ireland. That's about it. Maybe, he learned the box because, of course, he's an MMA fighter. But, yeah, I can see why he wouldn't be able to throw a baseball. That's not easy, man. It's not easy. And for Zach, come on, dude. That's ridiculous, That one's just kind of silly. Anyway. Appreciate all of you out there as always. Thank you. As always, man. Very nice of you all out there. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Oh, remember Megan Thee Stallion? Oh, I just want to see Megan Thee Stallion because she's an absolute stallion. That body is stallion-esque. It was probably bad, right? Megan doesn't look like she was like very and plus she always has those long nails. Again, that's a real detriment for somebody to throw a baseball. Long ass fingers, long ass nails. That's not conducive to throwing a baseball. I'm just telling. I'm being fair. Okay? Just being fair overall. Let's see. Big O, the more I think about it, if Philly offers the 3 firsts for Jimmy, if the Heat don't take it, they'd be stupid. Oh, for sure. For sure. Very dumb. Did you see, Sean, did you see they were giving away a bobblehead for Shohei Ohtani at the Dodgers game yesterday? Did you see that? No? Well, okay. As I said, they gave away a Shohei Ohtani bobblehead, and people flocked to the stadium hours before the game. The cars were lined up to get into Dodger Stadium. I know Lisa Rose is going, I want one of those. So it says cars snaked the roadway around Chavez Ravine in the stadium parking lots. They were filling up quickly 2 hours before the Dodgers hosted the Reds. A line of fans waited outside on the sidewalk, outside the main gate before it opened. Shohei creates a stir, says Roberts. I can't imagine what it's like outside. It's great for Shohei. It's good for the Dodgers, right? So the giveaway attracted a sellout crowd of 53,527. Now, here's the thing. Only 40,000 get it. So that's kind of the trick to it, right? So then I'm going to trip you out. So I said, well, they're selling this stuff, right? So I would imagine it's on eBay. Yeah, it is. Buy it. This guy's sitting in the stadium, posting it on eBay for $380. This guy posted for $247, $299. How about this guy? $2,850. 0 bids right now. $3,100, $2,500, $1,500. Look, he's at the Chavez Ravine holding up the bobblehead for $1,300. Well, here's a bargain, $1,075. Oh, you could get one for $260. Buy it and then turn around and sell it for $1,000. $227, $205. $405. Immediately, they're trying to make their money, dude. And I'm sure, folks out in Asia are probably going to be like, they're going to want one of these. What a story, dude. Shohei Ohtani. What a story. That's absolutely fantastic. So Scotty Scheffler gets arrested this morning at the PGA Championship, and he's back, by the way, after getting arrested. Now, Jeff Darlington was following the story. He was there and all that. I'm going to read what the statement Scheffler put to Darlington. He said, this morning I was proceeding as directed by police officers. It was a very chaotic situation, understandably so, considering the tragic accident that occurred earlier, and there was a big misunderstanding of what I thought I was being asked to do. I never intended to disregard any of the instructions. I'm hopeful to put this to the side and focus on golf today. Of course, all of us involved in the tournament express our deepest sympathies to the family of the man who passed away in the earlier accident this morning. It truly puts everything in perspective. And of course, it also puts into perspective what probably happened here is that Scotty Scheffler must have used, do you know who I am? I got to get this, that. Probably didn't take the guys seriously, didn't think they were cops, thought that they were security guards or whatever, and didn't listen. Because if he was wronged, really wronged, he would have said it in the statement. You've been arrested, bro. You were handcuffed and taken to jail. You were fingerprinted and you had to bond out. So you have plenty to be pissed about if you had something to be pissed about. But you didn't have anything to be pissed about, probably because you were also out of line. Maybe the cops aren't smart enough to know the faces and all that kind of stuff and know that Scotty Scheffler or whatever. That shit happens, dude. You know, one thing that those of us in the sports world, we are so misinformed in this sense at times. We think everybody knows our world. And actually, most people don't know our world. We're the minority. And we don't realize that. And so there's probably a lot of cops that don't follow sports or give a shit about it. Or maybe they don't give a shit about golf. Or maybe they don't give a shit about basketball or baseball or whatever. And so they may not know at that moment. And maybe they're trying to do their job and it was chaotic, like he said. There's an accident, somebody died. And at that moment, they needed him to follow some orders and he didn't follow those orders. And then there was a miscommunication, misunderstanding, whatever. And if you didn't listen to the cop, this is the part I never understand when I watch all these movies and these little cuts or whatever. Bro, when the cop tells you, don't move, don't move. It's pretty simple, dude. I don't know. This is maybe why I've never had a problem with a police officer. It's pretty simple, man. If they tell you to do something, just do it already. You're not going to win the fight. But there are the people that, you know, like I saw that DA, that New York DA the other day. Anybody saw that? She refused to stop for a police officer. She went right into her home and for miles there, he was following her. And she oh, go ahead, give me the ticket, honey. I'm the DA. I'm the DA, she told him. Like, that bitch needs to get her ass fired. Just because you're the DA, you're not going to follow. Just because you're a famous person, you're not going to follow. Just because you think you're wronged at the moment, you're not going to follow. That's not going to win. So when they tell you license and registration, bro, just get the license and the registration. And if they tell you to stand up and get out of the car, just stand up and get out of the goddamn car. And if they tell you to stand there, then stand there. And if they tell you to be quiet for the moment, then be quiet for the moment. But if you start fighting them, you're never going to win that. And then all of a sudden, you think you know the law. And then they tell you you're breaking the law. And then, no, I'm not. And then you refuse to, and then you're combative. You're never going to win. Do I know that the police is abusive? Hell yeah. We have bad police officers. We have a lot of good ones. We have some bad ones. I get it. But in general, the people that I see just they don't want to follow. I'm sorry, man. I don't feel sorry for you. There's that video that runs out of that woman police officer that she's in the middle of some issue with someone else. And some woman just feels like getting in the middle of the incident by pushing her. You know what that woman officer did? She punched the crap out of that lady. And you know what I said? Good for her. Way to go, police officer. Like, who the hell are you? You're not involved in this incident, and you're pushing the officer. She punched her, and then she had to take off because the guy, she was chasing a guy out. The guy she was in a scuffle with, she had to chase him. But she took a moment to smack the woman that, hit her. Like, who the fuck are you? So there's this thing that, we also don't respect authority. So it's kind of a two-way street at times. And to me, there's a lot of that it smells in this Scheffler story. Because I know if I was wronged and arrested and I wasn't deserved to be arrested and I followed your orders and I would let you have it after my statement. You know what I mean? I don't expect sometimes the people around, some of these reporters become friends, so they're really not going to be objective about it, so they're not really going to report what's going on. So, because if they're friends with the person, they don't want to put that person in a bad light. So, yes, sir.
Just to put a little bit more, because some stuff has come out about it. Apparently there was a lane that they were allowed to go through with a credential.
Other players, yeah.
Yep. And the detective was on, because of the death of the individual, was not part of the golf event. So Scheffler was driving down to one side. That guy jumped out to stop him. Scheffler, not thinking about it, just, I guess, kept going or whatever. And then finally that's where some of the miscommunications started. But that police officer was treated for some injuries because he got dragged because he jumped out to stop the car. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Scheffler, you're an idiot. Doesn't matter if you have the right of way. Dude, I live this life of credentials. I'm still polite as hell to the person that checks my credential every time. And I know I'm supposed to be there, but they have a job to do. You can't be a dick. And you can't act like, So.
Hey,
yes, sir.
Just going on. He was given the right of way when he entered. The problem was the accident was further along the
right.
route.
I get it.
Changed the traffic pattern, just so that I make sure I
get it. But if a guy gets in front of you to stop, bro. And then explain your situation. Hey, I'm Scotty Scheffler, and let me go by. And okay, that's it. And then he'll let you go by, or tell you, hey, can you wait a minute here because I'm doing something. I've got an investigation. Hold on a second. And then that way there's communication. You have come to an understanding, and then that's it. But if you're going to bulldoze right through, and somebody's telling you to stop, and it's somebody of authority, you unfortunately you got to stop. You don't drag another human being. Cop, security guard, parking attendant, whatever. Stop. It's just you going to the course, bro. It's not the end of the world. So I kind of feel that, Scheffler was out of place. And he kind of got what he deserved, basically. So, Sean, I want to do some investigative work here, and I need you to help me out here because I think I've cracked the case. Okay. And Xavier Worthy, did you see what happened to him? Yeah, I know we do like real sports talk here. We talk about all kinds of things going on in the world of sports. Did you see it? Sean, what happened to him? They stole his car. So Chiefs were excited to welcome Xavier Worthy, right? 20th overall pick overall. The actual city of Kansas City hasn't been so welcoming as earlier this week, the first-round draft pick got his car stolen overnight. Sources say on Monday, the 21-year-old's car was stolen from a residential parking garage at the apartment complex that Worthy recently moved into. Reportedly, a professional group of criminals who knew exactly what they were doing were the perpetrators behind the grand theft crime. And according to Fox 4 KC, Worthy's vehicle was parked, secured, and intact in the parking garage at Two Light Apartments on Monday, May 13th at 6:50 a.m. Worthy returned to the garage to find the vehicle was missing at 11:48 a.m. Worthy contacted the police to report the vehicle stolen. Notably, Worthy made headlines at the end of yada, 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 all that other stuff, right? So I think that was Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice isn't the brightest bulb in the chandelier. As you can see, his accidents, speeding and with multiple cars, by the way, and crashing into people. right? Not very bright. Then he's hitting a photographer. Rashee Rice clearly is not very bright. I think Rashee Rice thought that if he stole Xavier Worthy's car, he couldn't get to camp and he can't take his job. Now, Rashee Rice doesn't understand that maybe the kid has insurance and he'll have the car replaced, but I'm going to go with, Rashee Rice is on a crime spree. I would figure now, this is what he's doing. In order to make a little extra money, he's got, a professional crew that is cruising around Kansas City taking cars. So I'm going to go with Rashee Rice trying to, make life harder on Xavier Worthy. Just saying, just think about it. Who's out for Worthy now? The guy that's about to lose his job, the guy that's going to easily get suspended this year by the NFL for several games. And he's not very bright. We've learned that. Okay, so he thought this is a way to keep him away from all of this. It's amazing. Strong stuff by Rashee Rice. Never thought he'd do something like that, but when you're desperate, you do desperate things. Ernie D, thank you for the love on the super chat, sir. Big O, if you had to spend $2,000 on a crypto value below $5, what would it be? That's a great question. That's a fantastic question. Trying to think of your value and to get the most money and the most bang for your buck. What would it be? Okay. H-bar. I would go H-bar. It's at 11.63 right now, 11 cents. You can get a shitload of it. I wouldn't be surprised if H-bar gets to $1 in this bull run. So that's kind of a 9x for you. So that's 2,000. That becomes 18,000. I'm not a financial advisor, but that's my prediction. I love H-bar. I'm heavily invested in H-bar. I'm also giving you something that I have my money in. Okay? I'm not going to go giving you something that I haven't put anything in or don't know anything about it or anything like that. H-bar. Okay? I wish you would have told me a little earlier because I've been talking about H-bar when it was 4 and 5 cents. But I think it's going to go to $1. It's kind of like Chainlink. I got Chainlink in the $5-6 range, and it's at 15. I think it's going to go to $100. But you asked me for something under $5. I was thinking of Polygon because right now Polygon is at an absolute steal. That's the other option. Let me give you a second option. Polygon's at 72 cents right now. It's up nearly 6% today. It was at $1.09 before, and it's been at over $2. So you'll know. So and I think it's going to go even more. Now, Polygon has the EPPI 1551, whatever. It's something like that. It's the burning mechanism. So it burns Matic. So you have less Matic every day. Every day, Matic is burned. So there's less, which increases the value. That's one. Two, if you go to Exodus, if you open an account on Exodus, which you can open it online and you have an app for it and everything, and remember to keep your seed words because they're going to give you 12 seed words, you can stake the Matic you buy right now at 6.6%, 6.06%. So you put the 2,000 in, boom, you buy it, you let it sit there and you stake it. Now you're getting 6% on it. Automatically, you're getting free Matic. And then it's going to grow from 72 cents to multiple dollars. It's up to you. Put 1,000 in H-bar, 1,000 in Polygon if you want. Matic, Polygon, all the same thing. So I'll give you two suggestions there. Not a financial advisor, but heavily invested in both, and I love both. There you go. Comparing Rashee Rice to a dim light bulb is an insult to all light bulbs and their chandelier parents. Got some chain link this morning. There you go. Chain link's going to be a badass, bro. Chain link is going to be an absolute monster. Big O, did you see John Daly's first pitch the other day? He threw like an 85-mile-an-hour strike, and they say he was drunk as usual. Well, he's a functioning alcoholic. That's the beauty of John Daly. A functioning alcoholic. So we've got what's it called? We've got Magic Johnson and Company gets, well, not Magic Johnson, I'm sorry. Stephen A., Malika, Bob Myers, and Kendrick Perkins. They are doing the pregame leading up to the Timberwolves and the Nuggets game last night, which was a hell of a game because the Timberwolves came up on fire. So they spent 15 minutes talking about whether Stephen A. could actually score against LeBron James in a one-on-one. They spent 14 minutes talking about that. Now, I didn't watch it myself. I read about it this morning, and they have the videos, and so I watched a little bit of it just to see what kind of a joke. And it shows to you where we're at in sports, right? And by the way, this is also an insult to you all out there because they feel like, you know, you guys want clickbait. You want us to talk to a contract all the time because that's how we're going to get you. You know, but if we talk about real sports and different things going on, you're not going to tune in nearly as much. You're not going to care because you're not very smart. It's kind of the way they treat you. You know what I'm saying? And so they have to play games with you. And they have to mislead you. And they have to try to come up with stories that aren't even true, but it's fake scenarios and hypotheticals, and then stupid off-the-cuff stories like this. Like, are people tuning in to listen to them debate whether Stephen A. can score against LeBron James on a one-on-one? And this is why ESPN has become just almost unwatchable for practically anything and everything. You just want the game to come on. And then, you know, I just want like the news. Just give me the news and get the hell off my screen. Because your silly side stories and profiles and all that kind of stuff, it's just and the hosts, they're lazy. It's just lazy. They don't want to work. Dude, we're 2 hours and 35 minutes into this show, and we've talked about the soccer team, the Panthers, the Dolphins on different things, from Justin Simmons to Tua to Tyreek Hill. We've talked about Zach Edey. We talk about the Dodgers and the craziness with Shohei Ohtani. We talk about the Scotty Scheffler stuff. We're talking about Xavier Worthy. We talked to David Furones. We talked to Manny Navarro. I don't know how many more things we do. We're actually working and talking about all kinds of different things going on. And you just get people to talk about just stupid shit on the air. Radio, TV, whatever it is. You know what it is to spend 14 minutes on that conversation? This is why it's become unwatchable. It's this business, dude. This business is... I am so happy to be free from this business. Nothing makes me happier than being free from this business, to be quite honest. The Ant-Man. Last night, he and his team obviously showed up, and he didn't need a 40-point performance. He had 27 points. The T-Wolves ran the Nuggets off the floor, 115-70. Jaden McDaniels had 21 points, all that good stuff. And I've already told you about Ant-Man a couple games ago when they lost that first game, and he took a lot of the heat for it himself. He's like, no, that's on me. I didn't come in with the right attitude. I didn't get it done, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff, right? And you love that because that's what leaders are supposed to be. See, the leader and the quarterback or the star basketball player, hockey player, football player, whatever, they're going to get the praise when the team wins. Always. Now, they may not get all the blame. They might get some. They might get none because maybe they don't deserve any of the blame, right? Like, do you ever blame Messi for a loss? No. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to get the blame. But if you're a leader, if you're a star, you step forward, and even if it's not, you do what Spo does. No. We had enough. We all know when Spo says he had enough, we all know he never does. Every time he has said we had enough, he really doesn't say it. He really doesn't. But we let him get away with that because why? Spo will never make an excuse. He doesn't make excuses. He doesn't point fingers. He doesn't make excuses. Anthony Edwards doesn't make excuses. Didn't point fingers. He took the heat himself. So then after the game last night, story comes out that that Edwards had reportedly told a Nuggets locker room attendant after the T-Wolves lost Game 5 at Ball Arena in Denver, the two-time All-Star had guaranteed that he would see the staffer again once his team returned to Game 7. During his post-game press conference after Game 6, Edwards was asked if the exchange with the Nuggets attendant actually happened. The Timberwolves star confirmed the conversation and even revealed a rather colorful message. He says, hell yeah, they know. Y'all was there. I told him, I said, I'll see y'all motherfuckers for Game 7, said Edwards. I love this kid. I love it because he talks the talk, he walks the walk, and he's a leader. He's a winner. He has grown into being a real franchise player. You know, we have a kid here that, you know, if you really want to be a hero, heroes don't make excuses. You got me, Tyler? So when the defense focused in on you and you had a bad night, did you pull a Spo? Did you say, oh, I had enough. I have enough. No, that was me. I had a bad night. No. They were tugging and pulling and pushing me and all that. You had excuses because you're not wired right, kid. Go ask Zoe if he's going to make any excuses. There's no excuses. Stars don't make excuses, and they don't point fingers. And that's one thing that, you know, Tyler can learn from his own coach and can learn from Anthony Edwards. No excuses. Yeah, I said it. I said it before, and I'll tell you that I said it after. And I'll take the heat if things don't go well. That's what I'm here to do. That kid is wired the right way, dude. Absolutely wired the right way. I love that, dude. There is a white man that can jump. We've seen him before. We watched Rex Chapman back in the day, right? So there's been some of those guys that have some leaping ability. Detlef Shrimp, for a taller guy, was a pretty decent leaper. Tom Chambers, for a big man, most of you may not even know who that is, but he played for the Suns. And he is actually, there's One of his dunks is very famous because he's kind of in midair, two-handed, and it's a pretty nasty dunk for Tom Chambers. I got to give him credit on that one. But there's been some white guys, in the past. I remember Sharonis Marshallonis played for the Nets. Rest in peace. Tough guy. Played for the Nets and the Warriors. I think it was the Warriors and the Nets. I think he had he played on a couple teams. Tough guy, but also had some hops. I remember. Good athlete, overall. So there's been some white guys that have had leaping ability in the NBA. Well, guess what, folks? We've got another one, Kentucky guard, and he's also a Kentucky guard because Rex Chapman was a Kentucky guard. Reed Sheppard recorded a 42-inch max vertical, tied for the highest at the NBA Draft Combine. The 6'3" Caucasian male surprised everyone with his leaping ability, recording the 22nd highest vertical jump in Combine history. His athleticism wasn't even considered one of his strong suits, seeing that he added it to the list of many intangibles for the potential top 5 draft prospect. As Sheppard is a versatile guard who can pass, shoot, steal, and rebound, which led him to having an impressive freshman campaign at Kentucky. The 19-year-old averaged 12 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2.5 steals, with superb shooting splits, 53% from the field, 52% from three-point range, and 83% from free throw line. The Kentucky native is projected to go anywhere between number 2 and number 7 in the overall draft. A 42-inch vertical. There's that dunker, too. That white kid that's a dunker, Sean. The one that was in the dunk contest the last 2 years. I forgot his name, but he plays for, like, the Magic G League team or the Pacers G League team or somebody's G League team. I forgot who it was because I don't think he's on the NBA team. I think he's on the G League team. And that's why they allowed him to be part of the dunk contest because he was in the G League. I forgot the kid's name. One of you will say it, but that's another one of those white kids that can jump. But I saw that story and immediately I started thinking about Rex Chapman and some of the other white guys that could jump, overall. Ben Sheppard. You think he goes to the Pacers?
Mac McClung.
That's it. Mac McClung. That's the guy. That's the guy. Once I heard the name, it rung the bell. McClung rings the bell. Good shit. So let me ask you something. Are you into Bad Bunny's music? Sean, you into that reggaeton stuff? I'm not. Got nothing against Bad Bunny. Don't know him from a hole in the wall. I've heard of him. I've heard his music. Don't really care for it. Does nothing for me. But apparently, did you hear about Bad Bunny and his problems in sports? Bad Bunny apparently is a bad agent. That's right. His firm, Remus Sports, is dead to the Major League Players Association. More specifically, Remus Sports has accused the Players Union of placing a death penalty on the agency by way of discriminatory bias and predetermined investigation. Those quotes come straight from a lawsuit filed by the agency, which claims its business practices are being unfairly scrutinized by the MLBPA. Now, by blanketly prohibiting the MLBPA certified agents from affiliating with Remus Sports and Remus Entertainment in any capacity, the MLBPA has effectively placed a death penalty and sanctions on Remus Sports and an agency and prohibited Remus International, which is not a sports agency business and has never had an MLBPA certified agent, from contacting with clients who may wish to be securing branding, sponsorships, or endorsement deals. These restrictions extend well beyond the scope of the MLBPA's authority to regulate its agents. Meanwhile, the Players Association isn't keeping quiet on the whole ordeal. Why? Well, here we go. The MLBPA knew or should have known that such actions have caused and will continue to cause severe agency killing harm to Remus companies, the complaint read. In fact, it intended its effect of the MLBPA's actions, which was precisely to eliminate Remus's companies from participating altogether in the sports agency market for MLB and MLB players. Now, here's what's being explained by MLBPA decertified Remus agent William Arroyo on April 10th and prevented Remus executives Noah Assad and Jonathan Miranda from seeking certification after accusing the agency of providing improper benefits to players. The outlet wrote, additionally, Remus and other MLBPA certified agents, Michael Velasquez, was threatened with decertification and quit the company, according to the lawsuit. Let me tell you something. I don't have all the insights on this, but I do have insight on this kind of situation because I know I've dealt with it on the NFL side. When the NFLPA, or in this case, MLBPA, they're for players. They want players to be represented the right way, because if you're doing shit illegally, then you're going to put the player in a problem. You're going to put the union in a problem. And then all of a sudden there's going to be a problem with the league too. So if you were doing and providing improper benefits and the league and your union busts you, these are your own people. Dude, they go after you hard. If you're stealing clients from somebody else, if you're trying to entice people or whatever it is illegally, they don't like that. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm telling you they don't like it. And if you get busted, they don't hold back. None of the unions hold back. They don't defend you because you're screwing someone else in their family. You get it? If you're stealing somebody's client, you're stealing it from another agent or agency. You're creating problems. And then you create problems for the player and the team and all that, because everybody gets involved in all this shit. And then how about if the team, you switch agents and you piss off one agency and then you piss off the team because they don't like dealing with that agent that you just picked up? Because maybe he's not a good agent. Maybe he's unfair. Maybe his practices aren't clean. Whatever. And this is a problem too, where you know, one of the things I do in life, if you shine shoes, if you drive a bus, if you're a lawyer, if you're a barista, brother, I don't care, or brothers and sisters, I don't care what job you do. I have immense respect for whatever job you do, because you had to learn to do that job. And I'm sure I can't do probably most of the jobs you guys do because I'm not either skilled or trained or educated or whatever. But the people that think that they can just go and walk into somebody else's profession and just do it, and that's a problem. You know, I see that a lot, and this is what happens to people like that. You know, because you walk in and you think just because you are who you are, it's going to translate to everything else. And it just doesn't, Michael Jordan. Just doesn't. It will for Magic Johnson, but it doesn't for Michael Jordan. Well, maybe one works harder at it than the other. You know? Maybe there's a reason why Magic Johnson is successful in all his businesses. I don't know. It's kind of the way it is. And when I saw this story with Bad Bunny, it was just like, yeah, man. It reminds me of Chad Johnson quitting football and then saying, I'm going to play soccer now. And then he learned that, no, bro, you're not going to play soccer. Just because you played in Miami Beach High a couple times, you kicked the ball around, you think you're a soccer player now? Come on, dude. And that's where it just kind of gets a little ridiculous. You know? What else do we have going on? Also, from Bad Bunny, we go to Stephen Perry. And if you like Journey, and maybe even Stephen Perry solo stuff, this might be good news. Okay? Stephen Perry says he has signed with a new label, and he's hinting a return to concert stages. He hasn't mounted a solo tour in 30 years and last performed a full-length concert with Journey in 87. It's something that I'm absolutely missing terribly. As you get older, it's been 30 years, you haven't done it, you get that itch. And it's, you know what Steve Perry's going through? You ever seen those men or women, because I would imagine it happens to women, but I know it's so tied to men, where they have that midlife crisis and they divorce and they want to all of a sudden be young again and all that, and they go buy a sports car and, you know, whatever. They start doing all kinds of young things and all that kind of, you've seen that, right? Kind of reminds me that he's having a midlife crisis. He goes, I can't tell you how much there's been this big soulful reclaiming of this original feeling I had about singing that I needed to get back to. I didn't want to get out and just turn on the wheel or turn the crank. So Perry has actually been thinking about this. He says, asked why, he says, it's a long story. Uncle Steve is up in age, and everybody at this age has some aches and pains and things like that. But it's been a really good question I've been asking myself too. And so asked about, you know, I'm not going to get into the remake of a Journey song called It Could Have Been and all that other stuff. But the guy that's been working on it has been kind of bothering him about coming back. So Trev is the guy's name. And Trev, he says he's been busting my balls about it for a long time, to be honest with you. So looks like Perry's coming back. Now, there's no mention of coming back to join Journey. So I don't know if he's going to come back just to do a solo tour, which I would still go see, right? If he still has the voice, I would definitely go see it. I saw Journey with Steve Perry a couple times, so I'm lucky. Okay, I'm one of the fortunate ones. I've seen him with Arnel Pineda several times, and it's terrific. Okay, Neil, it's funny because Arnel sounds practically like Steve Perry, almost as close as you can get. Arnel is that, and it's funny because I used to tell Bill, rest in peace. I used to tell Bill all the time. It's crazy how you would think you can't replace Steve Perry. But really, in the end, now you can replace Neil Sean. Because this Journey has been successful touring around, and they play in arenas all over the place because people are still seeing it. Why? Because Arnel sounds great, dude. Like, if you never saw Steve Perry and Journey, this is like the next best thing to see. Because Pineda sounds... I've done this to my friends. They've gotten in the car, and I've played Journey with Arnel, and because there's a CD where Arnel has all the Journey hits, and they republished it with him singing it, and so I play that a lot of times. I've done it several times, and I've got, yeah, man, Steve has got a hell of a voice. I'll just like, yeah, dude, I love Journey, bro. Steve's got a hell of a voice, and I'll throw that in there, and they're like, yeah, dude, he sounds so awesome, and then I'll turn to him. Yeah, the only problem is that's not Steve, that's Arnel Pineda. Huh? So I've done that many times, and I've tricked him. So I don't know what Steve is going to do. It looks like it's solo. I would love for him to do one more Journey tour. Can you imagine Steve Perry and Neil Sean getting back together for one more Journey tour? It would be stadiums would be packed, not arenas. Stadiums would be packed. Yeah, so that's pretty cool that he's thinking about it. And for those of you that never saw him, you might get a chance to actually see Steve Perry, man. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. Let's get to some birthdays today. Bob Saget was born on this date in 1956. We lost him in 1922. Nikki Reed, movie actress, she is 36. Derek Huff, dancer, 39. Karrueche Tran. I only know her because of Chris Brown and couple other relationships she's been a part of. She's a cutie, by the way. She's 36 years old. Model. Who else? Bill Paxton, rest in peace, was born in 55 on this date. We lost him in 2017. Matt Ryan, football player, 39 years old. Let's see. Jordan Knight, pop singer, is 54. Trent Reznor, love it, baby. 9 Inch Nails founder, he is 59. 9 Inch Nails would be a good one to be in the Sphere in Vegas. Sugar Ray Leonard, birthday today, he is 68. Love it. Sasha Alexander, she is 51. Rizzoli and Isles, she is Isles. If you ever watch Rizzoli and Isles, Sasha is Isles. Musicians born on this date. Let's go with Josh Homme. Of course, founding member and only continuous member left of Queens of the Stone Age. He was born in 1973. Jordan Knight was born on this date in 1970. Singer from New Kids on the Block. Dave Abbruzzese, drummer with Pearl Jam from 91 to 94. Okay. How many drummers has Pearl Jam had? Like 67 drummers, dude? You know what I'm saying? It's just one of those funny things. Jan Kincaid, born on my day, on my year, 1966, from the Brand New Heavies. Freaking love the Brand New Heavies, man. So good, the Brand New Heavies. That's like an under the radar type band. What else do we have? Enya. She was born on this date in 1961. Simon Fuller, record producer, manager of the Spice Girls. Kelly Clarkson, Carrie Underwood, Chris Daughtry, Fantasia. He was born in 1960. Paul Di'Anno, Up the Irons, bitch. The original singer of Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden's coming to get you. George Johnson, born in 1953 on this date, from the Brothers Johnson, Strawberry Letter 22. And Stomp, right? Bill Bruford, hell of a drummer. English drummer. Yes, from 68 to 72. Also joined King Crimson and, was it Bruford, Anderson, Wakeman, Howe was the name of the band? I have the CD from back in the early 80s when they got together for that one album. I have that one, and Bruford is part of that. There's so much shit in here, bro. It's just really, it's twisted. That's all I can say. There's just too much crap in there. Too much crap. Remember, folks, our merch our merch website is open. You can buy shirts and hats to support our platform. The regular Big O Show hats, the white and black ones, will have in the back BP4E, and that'll be in honor of Bill Preston. So you'll know. Not the Bitcoin hats, not the Big O Show Bitcoin hats, but the Big O Show hats. And we have a slew of stuff that you can buy. All the shirts now, you guys asked for it, you got it. 10 different colors. So if you liked any of the shirts, but you didn't want to buy it in white, now you have an option to buy it in a different color. All right, so there you go. We've got more stuff that we'll be posting over the next couple days, weeks. So continue to visit it, and we'll start to come up with different things for you all. But we appreciate you all out there, man.
Bruford was also toured with Genesis for a while. Nice job by you. I didn't know that. How many CDs do you have? A couple. I think it's like 2,000, something like that. Maybe 2,400. Yeah, no, it's over 2,000. It's probably like 2,400, something like that. Yeah. Yep. I think I'm gonna sell them. I got them all in a what's it called, in a storage, because it was taking up a lot of space, bro. A lot of space. Whew. And so I have a lot of CDs that are worth money. I could sell them actually, because I have them all recorded. I have them all on a hard drive, so I can actually do that. I actually even have some that are autographed and everything from over the years. So it's kind of cool. I probably could do that, but yeah, probably should do that. I still play my CDs. I would if I had them here. No, I probably wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. No, that's not true. No, it's too easy to play them from my hard drive. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. That's a lie. That's a lie. I have a few here at home, but those are like, I think I have like 50 or 60 that I've bought lately, in the last few months. I don't know, last year and a half or two. It's actually been a couple of years now that I think about it. But I bought a few, and so I haven't taken it to the storage unit. But yeah, it's like 2,400 CDs. It's boxes, dude, boxes, and heavy. Jesus Christ, it's heavy. Anyway, we are out of here. I think we gave you 3 hours of real sports talk. We appreciate all of you out there. By the way, congratulations to Cam Kitchens. The 3rd-round pick signed his contract with the Rams also, so congratulations to him. We thank David Furones. We thank Manny Navarro. If you missed those interviews, you can rewind here. You can also, later on, Sean Stanley will be posting those individual interviews and any rants that we had here on the show. We appreciate all of you, as always. Those of you, if you want to make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at any time at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Thank you for the likes, bro. You got them well over 226 likes. That's freaking awesome. Thank you very much, man. That is so kind of you all to keep hitting those likes. That really helps out. Watch time, visit our merch, donations, visit our amazing sponsors like Acura Pembroke Pines and Toyota of Hollywood. Without them, we would not be anywhere. So please visit our amazing sponsors. We will see you on Monday at 10 a.m. Same time, same place, same bat channel.